Well, hello. I just want to say, I guess, hi to everybody. It was my birthday yesterday, and I had to work a 12-hour shift at work, so I wasn't able to go live yesterday. But I am going live today, and it is just me saying, I don't know, celebrate. I want to sit here. It's kind of like an Ask Me Anything. Let's just hang out, talk, and do that kind of thing. I'm just kind of filling some air here and talking and trying to give people time to get in here. Let me see if I can get some stuff ready here. I know. Bear with me here. This is, I'm not good at this. Welcome back. Thank you. I don't know where I went. I think I've been here. Unless you're talking about the fact that this should have popped up like an hour ago because I was testing things out and, it wasn't supposed to go live, but I think I accidentally did. I don't know. I don't. This is why you come here, is for this amazing technical skill and know-how that I have. I'm kidding. That was sarcasm. Let me move this aside. So it goes. That is correct. That is exactly correct. So it goes. Yeah. So, here we go. This wasn't supposed to happen this way. Like I was saying, I wasn't even going to go live today at all. But thank you for the happy birthday. But I was trying to film a video for this week. I did my Big Dune reread this month, just last week, and I was supposed to do a review of it, and I kind of filmed the raw footage, and I hemmed and I hawed and I ummed and I stuttered and I stammered, and it was just a disaster. So instead of attempting to Frankenstein the raw footage together in order to make something halfway decent out of it, I said, fuck it. And I dumped the footage and I said, I'll do a live stream instead, and I'll film that video at another time. It just wasn't working out for me. So, and I wasn't trying to force it. I'd rather put up no content than bad content. At least at this point in my YouTube career, there's enough bad content on this channel to keep somebody, busy for a while. Hey, thank you. One more time around. Yeah, I know. I've had a couple of them at this point. 42 to be specific. So, I didn't know if I'd make it to 40, let alone 42. And that's not a big jump difference, is it? Not even a little. I don't know. So what are you guys up to? I don't know. I've been having a busy week. It's another reason why I'm struggling to get any content created this week. I was hit by another car like 6 months ago, a really long time ago. But I was sitting at an intersection and someone backed into me. And then just now this week, I finally was able to get it repaired. And I've been jumping through hoops and doing all this insurance crap, just busy life stuff, which kind of gets in the way of YouTube. So that's the magic number. What's the magic number? But yeah, so just busy. Haven't had enough time to really do anything. So, like I said, we're just going to hang out and have fun. Happy birthday. Love the channel. Oops, sorry. Let me put it up there for you. This is a great boost to my mood while I work late. I wish I could watch YouTube at work. That would be awesome. No, I'm kidding. That would be awesome, but I'm not, no shade on anybody. 42. Hey, I didn't know if in what world is that a magic number? Yeah, I don't know. So, do you guys what do you want to talk about? Do we have any ideas? Do you want to ask me anything, I guess? I just made it through the halfway point of Needful Things. I haven't read, what am I saying? Yes. That's a good one. I like that one. 42, The Meaning of Life, and a few other things. Oh, yeah? Might be something I missed. The Perks of Working in Media. I wonder, what do you do in media? Happy birthday. I always buy books on my birthday. Did you pick up any new ones? Not yet. I will be ordering, I don't know what I'm going to get yet. I want to order a new Folio Society book for my birthday. It'll probably be the new Dune, God Emperor, or something like Clara and the Sun. I've got a whole list of them. The Berry Giant, Monkey. I've got a list. I got to figure out which one I want off that list, though. But I want to get myself a new Folio Society book for my birthday. How many books do you have? You know, I haven't counted lately. I haven't counted in a little while. And last time I did count, it was somewhere in the realm of 600, which isn't, I was going to say isn't a lot. It looks like it's more than it is, but I think it's like right around 600. And that's, you know, I'm shooting for that 1,000 book library. Isn't that what they say? You have to have 1,000 books to have a library or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really shooting for that. Actually, I've slowed down quite a bit on my book buying. I was buying a lot there for a while, and now that I've got what you can see, I kind of slowed down, and I buy a lot less now. I pretty much buy a couple of books a month just to keep my reading going. I try to read a couple that I already have so I can get through the backlog, you know, all of that, the TBR that's on the shelf that hasn't been read, while grabbing a couple new ones, because new ones are fun and exciting. Oh, you haven't read? No, I have not read Douglas Adams. That's one that's on my to-do list. Yes, no. Someone hasn't read it. No, I haven't. Yeah, that went right over my head. I hear a lot of people rave about it. Murphy talks about it a lot. So one of these days, I'm gonna have to just get to it and get it done. I haven't seen the movie either. I literally have no experience with that whatsoever. Just out of curiosity, when you were a kid, did you also read Goosebumps? I did. I had quite a few of the Goosebumps. My introduction, of course, was The Mask, literally the very first one I ever read. And then I couldn't even tell you which ones I burned through, but I burned through quite a few of them. I watched the show. I did all of that when I was a kid. I remember in a video you said you haven't read any H.G. Wells. Did you ever get around to it? No, not yet. I've been slowly working my way through some classic sci-fi. I got Asimov under my belt last year and got the Foundation trilogy down. So now I've got that in there. But I have not yet gotten to any H.G. Wells whatsoever. I don't know where I'll start with them either. Probably Time Machine or War of the Worlds. I might just get a collection and just go from there and see what happens. I work in media strategy for a rideshare company. Huh. I do not. I work in nursing, essentially. I'm not even a nurse. I'm like the tech that works underneath the nurse, but I'm on my feet for 12 hours. We work 3 days a week. I do 3 12-hour shifts, and they work you like a dog. And, you know, it's really rough. But it gives me 4 days a week off to do this. But if I'm, you know, like back-to-back 12s, don't even bother trying to get me to do anything. I'm dead, you know. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Hey, what's up, Draglogia? Thank you. There is an app called Libib that allows you to scan the barcodes of your books. Then you can see how many you have. You know, there's this way I do it where I go through the room and I count them manually, and then I add them up, and that's how I've always done it, because, you know, I'm old and are there barcodes on my books that I can even scan? I've never even looked. That's ridiculous that I didn't even know that. And then I'm assuming it categorizes them for you and everything like that and keeps track of them. I'm going to have to check that out now. Now you've got me interested. I'm assuming I just scan them with my phone. Happy birthday. Do you plan on reading Red Rising? I'm almost done with the 6th book, and each one is better than the last. Everybody's always asking me to read Red Rising. I want to read it. I just got done reading Sun Eater, and then I went directly into, why am I blanking on it? The Will of the Many. And I feel like Red Rising would just be another in the line of that. Not that it's the same thing, but it feels so similar that I'm kind of trying to give myself a little like breathing room before I go into Red Rising, because like I said, I just got done with those other ones and it feels very samey in regards to those kinds of stories. So try and give myself a little bit of room. I hear it's great. Everybody says it's great. Mike, every time I talk to him, he's pushing me towards this Red Rising stuff. So one of these days, that's another one. One of these days, I'm just going to have to get to it because people really want me to read it. And I hear it's good. So I'm on my Malazandria Memories of Ice and have been looking forward to watching your reviews after each book. You know what? Good luck. I love them. I love them so much. Memories of Ice is my second favorite book in the entire series. Oh, you'll love it. You wait till the end. Oh, it hits really hard in the end. It's just amazing. I love the series. It took over my life in a way I didn't expect it to. I didn't know if I would like it or not. And then when I did like it, I just never expected to like it in the way that I like it. It's amazing. It really is. I know you like The Last Unicorn. Have you read the sequel novellas? They're combined in one book called The Way Home. No, I have not. I haven't read anything else in that world or anything like that. Speaking of, way off topic, I guess, side tangent, side something here. I am halfway through The Never-Ending Story, which is my next book in that thing where I'm trying to like read books based on my childhood movies were based on. It's amazing. Like it's really good. I don't know. It's not, I don't know if it's as good as The Last Unicorn. I won't say that yet, but because I don't think the writing is as good as The Last Unicorn, but then it is translated. So that might have to do with the fact that it was written in German and translated to English. I don't know. There's something magical about Beagle's writing in The Last Unicorn, but Never-Ending Story so far, halfway in, really, really good. Really good. I loved it. What happened to your Berserk chapter reviews? I know. I'm sorry. I've read every single one of them. As a matter of fact, I'm 100% currently caught up. You, Draglogia, are the reason that I'm 100% caught up. So thank you for continuing to put them in the Discord so that I can stay caught up. But I fell off. I got into all of the other content, and then they were, to be quite frank, they do terrible on the channel. Like nobody would watch them. It took me like 2 months to just get to 1,000 views on one of those. They're really doing bad. And by time I had the idea that I could just wrap them into the monthly wrap-up videos, I was like 3 chapters ahead. So I need to come up with a way to just do a video or something to get everybody caught up with where I am on the Berserk chapter reviews. And then I think I'll wrap them into the monthly wrap-ups or something, because they just don't do well on the channel as dedicated videos. And that's fine, but I need to find a way to talk about them. And I think that way to talk about them is the monthly wrap-ups. I think that's a really good home for them. But thank you so very much for keeping me up to date on those. I appreciate that more than you know. Happy birthday. Red Rising is interesting. Thank you. Uh-oh. If you're reading The Never-Ending Story, does that mean you finished Dune, Ship of Magic and Deathstalker? No, I have not finished any. Well, okay, I have finished Dune. I just actually, that's what I was saying at the beginning of this video. I finished Dune last week. It's amazing. Oh my God, I love that book so much. It holds up just as much on a reread as you would want it to. It's amazing. The Never-Ending Story doesn't have a audiobook, at least that I had access to. I checked around. I couldn't find. I think there's one on like the library app, but I wasn't able to. Whatever. I didn't have the library app, so I had no access to an audiobook because I normally jump back and forth. I'll read a little bit and I'll audiobook a little bit. And when I realized Never-Ending Story didn't have one, I just threw it in my work bag. So that's just kind of the book I've been taking to work with me. And like on my breaks and lunches, I'll sit down and I just peck away at it. And I figured if I do that the whole month, I'll slowly just work my way through it. And So instead of keeping it on my nightstand or something like that, it just pretty much firmly stays planted in my work bag. So that's how I'm chipping away at it while still reading everything else in the background. But no, I have not. I'm actually, I was going to say halfway through live ship. I'm not. I'm maybe a quarter of the way in, and that is amazing. I feel like it is already a step up from the Assassin's Apprentice, whatever, the Farseer trilogy, and it is, I don't know, the fact that we start the book locked almost with Kenneth for I don't know how long we were with him before we really got settled into anything else that was happening in that family. And just, he is one of the most fascinating just individuals, period, let alone kind of a bad guy. I don't know, I don't want to get too far into the Ship of Magic, but like I said, I'm maybe a quarter of the way in. Our main girl, why am I blanking on her name? Our main girl just left, she walked out on Kyle and her mom and her sister, and because that big drama happened, and now she's kind of wandering the city alone. And yeah, I'm excited. It's really good. Anyway. Happy birthday, mine's on Saturday. Happy birthday. Right when you're about to answer my question, 3 ads pop up back. LO. Oh, I'm sorry. I did answer your question. It's in there. You might have to go back a little second. I'm sorry about the ads. I don't know why that I put it. It asked if I want it monetized, and I should probably just say no so people can just watch the damn stream. Happy birthday. What's your favorite folio edition you own? Probably Book of the New Sun. It's so well done. It's so pretty. It's such a nice book. Probably that. Yeah, I'm going to say Book of the New Sun. Happy birthday. I was wondering what brand your wristwatch. Are you a watches kind of guy? Well, it depends on the wristwatch. This one is a Casio. It's just a silly little Casio. It's one of their retro vintage models. I love it. Yes, I am a watch guy. I have a Hamilton, which is the nice one that I wear in other videos. It's a Hamilton Jazzmaster Open Heart, and it is beautiful. I also just bought another Casio just for my birthday, as a matter of fact, but it's a cheapo little, it's a one of the Royales, like the James Bond Casio, but it's I got the cheapest one I could because I'm gonna mod it. I'm gonna get a new case, a new strap, and I'm gonna mod the shit out of it, and then I'll start wearing that one. You might see that pop up in videos soon too. I also haven't, yes, I'm a watch guy to answer your question, but mostly right now Hamiltons, and a Hamilton and some Casios, and I want another Hamilton. I want the Field Watch, the Field Watch. Just downloaded an audiobook for The Last Unicorn. I know nothing, but I'm going off your recommendation. Yeah, it's fine. It's amazing. Know nothing. That's a good way to go into that one. Nice tattoos. What are they about? I have a couple. I have a Dune inspired. It's a sandworm. It's Shai-Hulud on my chest. I have a big dragon on this side of my chest, and then my sleeve is the only one that really means has a lot of sentimental value to me, and it is 3 ravens and a willow tree over a bay of water. You can't really see it in here. This is the tree going up. There are leaves and everything. Then there's the 3 ravens. The 3 ravens are me and my 2 kids, because my last name is Rammel, and it is an old German word for raven. At least that's what Ancestry.com tells me. So I got the 3 ravens because it was there for a while. I was a single parent, and it was, me and my 2 kids, and it really just stands for me and my kids, basically. There's a lot more to it than that, but I'm going to try and shorten that one. But yeah, my whole sleeve is dedicated to me and my kids. Just finished The Crippled God. I'm excited to go watch your last few Malazan videos. Cheers from Florida. Cheers from Ohio. So yeah, congratulations. It's a great series. It's amazing. I hope you were as satisfied as I was when I finished it. Happy birthday. Are you into sports? If so, what's your favorite sports team? And are you planning on finishing out Prince of Nothing, or nah, not really? I am not a sports guy. I don't really watch any sports at all. I do occasionally watch some football. My son is kind of into it because he goes over to his grandma's house and they're real big into it. So I'll watch like the Super Bowl and stuff like that with him. And actually my fiance is into hockey, so we just went to a hockey game. But I personally never really got too much into it. So no, not really. And I will, Prince of Nothing, I plan on moving forward with it, just not yet. I'm putting that one on the back burner. I would like to finish it. I want to get at least another book into it because I was interested when I finished it. I just have other things that I'm more interested in right now and that excite me more than that did. So yes, I want to finish it, but I don't know when I'll get around to it. Kenneth is my favorite Hob character. Yeah, he's so good. He's so fascinating. I really was invested. And I thought it was a strong decision to start the book with him and really give him the primary focus entering the book. So you get really, I wouldn't say attached to him, but interested in him is a better word. Happy birthday. I discovered your channel through my love of Perdido Street Station. Have you ever read The Library at Mount Char? No. It is another one of my favorites and also pretty weird. Who wrote that? I would be interested to know because that doesn't sound like a medieval book. At least I don't think so. I think I've checked most of his stuff out. Oh, this is so sorry. What folio edition would you buy in a heartbeat if they had it? The Dark Tower. I have been saying for years. I have no idea why they don't have it. They need to do it. Why do we have, a Song of Ice and Fire, and we're slowly working our way through Dune, and we've got, where is The Dark Tower? Gosh darn it, it's Stephen King. He's one of the biggest authors of all time. Give me my Dark Tower series. Do it slowly, like Dune. Just roll them out one every 6 months or however often they've been doing that. I mean, we're at how many years have they had Dune now? And we're only on book 4. They just released God, Emperor of Dune, like 2 months ago. I don't know. But yeah, Dark Tower, 100%. I feel like you've been waiting for someone to ask if you're a watch guy. That's my son. Sorry, I didn't even realize it was. His watch collection is dope. Just pay attention to his wrist in his videos and you'll see some dope stuff. Thanks, Balin. I actually, when I got this watch, I have a watch box. When I got this watch, I had to clear a watch out of my watch box and he inherited it just because, that's what I had to do. Happy Orbit? Oh, okay. Now I feel like an idiot now. I didn't get that. When did you stumble upon Haruki Murakami and what made you love his prose, especially reading something like 1QH4, 1Q84 as your first Murakami? I had heard about him. I had heard about him in a few videos here on the YouTubes, and I stumbled across, I watch a lot of Adam Savage Tested, and he had a video where they asked him what his favorite science fiction books were, and he said that he had to cheat, or I forget how he worded it. He said because it's not really science fiction, but he had to put it on his list because it was one of his favorite books, and it was 1Q84. And as soon as he said it, I was like, I've heard of that. I've heard of Murakami, I've heard of 1Q84, but the second Adam Savage put it in his top 5 favorite books, at least sci-fi books, and he put it alongside Neuromancer and a couple other things, and I just said, that's it. It's went to the front of the line as a priority, and that was really the tipping point for me into Murakami. I picked it up, I read it, and I was hooked from chapter 1, like literally chapter 1, when she gets out of the cab and climbs down off the bridge. I was like, this is amazing. There's something in the way he writes. There's something in the way that he talks to you. It's so conversational. There's something, I don't know. There's a magic in his writing. It's simple. It's not complicated. It's not super sophisticated prose, but there's some, I don't know how to explain it. I just it's one of those things where it's like a sentence to sentence enjoyment that I just love reading every single sentence, every single word, and I don't know how to explain it. I'll have to try and come up with a better description than that. And his descriptions of people are just fascinating. Just the way he describes things and people's, I don't know. It's awesome. Oh, I read Claw of Conciliator and I loved the big twist. Yeah, 1Q84 trained me to ignore all the anti-woman stuff in many of these books and just enjoy the fantastical elements. That is unfortunate that he has some he's strange and he does, yes, I know. I still love his writing though, and it's so wonderful. And I don't know. But he does have some kind of weird, odd, strange, icky stuff sometimes. You're reading it, you're like, really, was that necessary, Haruki? But the magic is still magicking for me, at least. Happy birthday, exactly 2 weeks before mine. Hope you got some great books to look forward to reading. I haven't got any books yet. I think I've got one coming in the mail from my fiance. She ordered it, but it didn't come in on time. She was trying to tell me what it was, and I told her, no, don't. I'm a surprise kind of person. I'd rather be surprised when I got the book than don't tell me. I don't want to know. Goodness gracious. I'm weird like that, though. Happy birthday. Love your channel, I'm assuming. Got me back into the love of reading. That is awesome. I just I love it when I hear stuff like that. I just to have, I don't know, be able to do stuff like that is wonderful, because I've fallen in and out of the reading over the years of my life. It's ebbed and it's flowed. When I was younger, I got into it real hard, like in my young 20s, and then I fell off, and then I got back, and it's just one of those things. It ebbs and it flows. Would you ever consider doing a group read? The Discord is growing every day. I've keep getting questions on my not all of my videos, on a few of my videos, like when I bring up the Patreon and the Patreon pick in particular, and then people are like, oh, do you do buddy reads? And I'm like, not really. Like I probably should. I should at least, I don't know what I want to do yet. I should at least put like a channel up for what I'm currently reading, and maybe have mini discussions about it as I'm reading it with people who have also read it, or do a buddy read or a group read. I don't know. I'm also just really busy. I've got 2 kids and a full-time job, and I try to do YouTube. So I just fitting it into my life. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like a very bad content creator when I don't have more engaging things to do. So I'll have to see if I can figure that one out. How much have you read from your library? How many books are yet for you to be read? I don't know. I think I've probably I'd like to think I've read half of them in the library here. I don't really know. I kind of got ahead of myself. I was buying a lot from like half price. I'd go to half price every time I got paid. And I just kind of walk around, and if they had a cheapo little book that looked like I wanted to read it someday, I'd grab it up and I'd put it on the shelf. And then I've stopped doing that because it's gotten wildly out of control. I have enough to keep me busy for years. That's why, like, every month I try to, if I read 4 books a month, I try to read 2. Like, I try not to buy more than 2 new books a month, because that way I'll read 2 of the older ones back here. But I've at least, I want to say it's probably right around half of what you see behind me has been read. And the rest, I'm working my way through it slowly. I'll get there. Recommend checking out Dungeon Tower by your boy Nihei. Oh, yeah. It's a dark fantasy. Currently 3 volumes ongoing. Really? They have 3 volumes of that out already? I read the first couple of chapters online digitally when it came out. And that's all I've read. Was like the first, I think it was like 2 or 3 chapters. And it was not super engaged. It didn't hook me, I guess is what I'm trying to say, when I read those first couple of chapters. And that was it. I didn't realize. Can't imagine being 3 volumes in. Are they in English? And are they in print? Or is it just something I'd have to hunt down on the internet and read that way? I don't know. But I do love me some Nihei. What was the last manga graphic novel you've read? I'd like to take this opportunity to recommend you the 100 Nights of Hero by Isabella Greenberg. The movie version is coming out soon also. Never heard of that. I just finished Attack on Titan. I finally got all the way through that, and then I grabbed a hold of the next 5 volumes of Frieren, and I've got that book up on my nightstand right now. I only read 1 chapter. I grabbed the book, I read a chapter, and I went to bed, and I haven't read any more yet. But that's my next goal, is to get a few more volumes of Frieren down. I also grabbed a few more volumes of Gundam, The Origin, and that's another thank you to Draglogia, who got me hooked on that. But I'm on volume 7 of Frieren, and volume 4 of Gundam, but I'm focusing on Frieren right now. Happy birthday, Claire in the Sun is sitting on my shelf, and every time I look at it, I get so excited, but I must finish The Stand first. Currently sitting at 400 something pages in. That's fair. Perfectly valid. Claire in the Sun is amazing. So is The Stand. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you it's too long or too long-winded. That they're wrong. It's amazing. It's one of the greatest things ever. I love it so much. It's one of those things. It's one of my favorite Stephen King books. Is that even possible to say? I love so many of his books. It's great. It's awesome. I won't say too much about it. Let's go start talking about the end, but I won't do that. I wish New York City had a half-price books. Yes. I didn't know they didn't have that. It is wonderful. I love it. I used to live at half-price books. Like I said, I would go down there every time I got paid. It's just so nice to walk through there, grab a book for $6 and walk away. It's wonderful. So you don't always find what you want, but like I said, that's the thing with the half price, is they've got what they've got. So that's why you just kind of pop in. I still pop in pretty much every time I get paid. I just don't buy anything anymore unless they've really got something that I like. Hell, where is it? Which hand? I can't. Oh my God, this is hard. This right here, my Ubik. That is a first edition Ubik. It is a book club edition, but that's a first edition Ubik. And I found that in the wild at half price, just walking in one day, and it was there, and I said, ho, ho, ho. And I ran. I mean, I took that thing and I ran. It's amazing. Happy birthday from a fellow bridge burner. Are you a bridge burner or, well, never mind. I was going to say, or a bone hunter, but just being pedantic now. Yup, print and English. Really? I'm going to have to look that up now. What are your thoughts on reading on the phone or tablet? I'm considering reading digitally first before buying the physical version. You know what? I have to say, to each their own. Try it. If you like it, then do that. I personally, I don't like it. I read either audiobook or I read physically. I had a Nook at one point in time, was the name brand of it, and it was an e-reader, and I've never liked reading things digitally. It causes eye strain for me. It's not comfortable. There's something about flipping. I've never enjoyed reading digitally. I even read an entire Philip K. Dick book. Well, it was like a short story. It was Minority Report. I read Minority Report entirely on a phone, and it was the worst experience I've ever had. So Like, I just don't like reading digitally, and trying to read something on a phone is even worse. But there's a lot of people that's their new thing. They put, they put their entire library on a Kindle, and they love every second of it. So don't let me discourage you if that's what you like to do, or if you want to try it. Don't let me naysay at that one. If you're into the instinctual fear of the dark woods, might I recommend Briar Dark. The author is currently working on the third book. I have never heard of that. I'll have to look that up. Did you mention for your 2020 that Duma Key is on your TBR? That is my favorite king. No, I didn't mention that one at all. I haven't read that one either. There's actually a lot of Stephen King books. I thought I had read a lot because he's one of my favorite authors. I always was like, man, I've read a lot of Stephen King books, and I counted them up one day. It was like a year ago or something, and I had read like, I don't know, it was somewhere in the low 20s of like 22 or 23 Stephen King books or something like that. And I'm like, wow, that's not a lot. Like, considering that the man's catalog, he's written something like 75 books. I'm like, damn, there's a lot of King that I am just missing. Like, and 7 of those 20 something books I've read are Dark Tower books. So I guess I'm not as well read in King as I once thought I was. Are you a gamer at all? I am casual. I'm a casual gamer. I grew up, obviously, in the 90s, so I had my Nintendo 64 and stuff like that. And then I was a pretty hardcore gamer when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, as you do when you're young and you have hours and hours to burn. Now I have I have a Series X, and I have my PC here. And I have Game Pass, and I download something every couple of months, and I'll play through it. I attempted Silk Song last year, beat my head against that wall, and I got maybe a quarter of the way into the game and just kind of had to tap out. Like, I couldn't get any further into it. I adored Clair Obscura. That's probably my game of the year for last year. Just the greatest thing I've played in a really, really long time. It was so good. It's just, I like Metroidvanias. I like RPGs. I like a lot of stuff. So yes, I'm a gamer, but I'm not like I've got a lot of other things to do in my life too. So I don't play as much as some other people. Happy birthday, bro. The Buried Giant is one of the most beautiful books I have ever read. Yes. Also love The Remains of the Day and Never Let Me Go. Why do you think Clara and the Sun is his best? Didn't read yet. I don't know why I think it's his best. It was first off, it was the first one I read, and that kind of sometimes gives me a little bit of a nostalgia for something. I latch onto it, but it really is beautiful, and it's so interestingly told and interestingly written, because he's got that Kazuo Ishiguro thing where he's so good with humans and humanity and emotions, and he can tap into them so beautifully and with so few words. And then he's doing it through the eyes of this robot that you are locked in her perspective, and it's so unique in the way that he locks you inside of her perspective, and the world building is unveiled to you so slowly, and it's so hard to explain, but it's my favorite. It still is to this day my favorite. It's kind of similar, not similar, but he kind of does something maybe a little bit similar in Never Let Me Go, where you don't really know what the world is until a little bit of the ways in. You don't know what that school is until a little bit of the ways in. So it's kind of like that, but it unfolds differently, and it's just a whole nother experience. I thought it was great. Oh my. Do you have a favorite audio narrator? Not really. Maybe the guy that did the first couple of Dark Tower books, or the guy that did the first couple of Malazan books, and I don't know either of their names. I really like the guy who did the first couple of Dark Tower books. He's so strange, and he seems like a curmudgeonly, grumpy old man. I think he passed away, actually. I think he wasn't able to finish the Dark Tower books because he passed away. But, Might need to self-ban from half price. Last time had whole Uplift War series by David Brin and couldn't resist. Stop that. You got to self-control, my man. Self-control is the way to go. Yeah, I forget what I had in my hand the last time I went. I put it down. I successfully put it down and I walked away. I can't remember what it was now. I really was thinking about it too. I even went there and I had the whole series of, what was it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I bought a lot from there. I've missed all the other AMAs, so hope you don't have to repeat too much. I think I repeat something just about every time. I just repeated the story on my sleeve that I think I've told at least once or twice before. It is perfectly fine. That is all right. Actually, the last Ask Me Anything was supposed to be an Ask Me Anything, and I invited Mike from Mike's Book Reviews on here as a guest. I think we talked the whole time, and I did very little engaging with the comment section. I kind of felt bad about that because I put right in the title, oh, Ask Me Anything, and then I kind of didn't talk to the chat as much as I really wish I would have. So that's another reason why I kind of wanted to just jump on here and hang out with people and hang out with you guys, hang out with the chat for a while, you know. Wedding this year. As a matter of fact, we have a date. So yes, wedding this year, later, much later. We'll see if it sticks. I think it's going to stick this time. We're actually putting like deposits on stuff like we haven't done before. We have been engaged, me and my fiance, for years at this point. And we keep kicking that can down the road. And we've set a couple of dates at this point, and we just, something happens, or we just don't, we make excuses that we don't have the finances, and we can't do X, Y, Z, and we can't do this. And then last year I went on vacation and I broke my ankle, and I had to recover from that. Like, there was just all the money I had saved up, you know, for anything, not irrespective of the wedding, was, you know, gone, because now I couldn't work for months because I had to recover for, it's just been a mess. So we have like I said, yes, we have a date. And actually, like I said, we're actually putting deposits on stuff. So God forbid, if we let this one slip, we're going to be in big trouble. 2, what does your fiance like to read if she's open to you sharing? She's much more of a self-help, and she's been trying to build this like business right now. So she's into like finance and trying to read all of these, like, you know, marketing things, and much more in that vein. She had that. I did a whole video this week for the tidying up your, what did I do? Video, basically 30 books that you would keep, because she has this Marie Kondo book on tidying up and cleaning and stuff like that. So she's just much more into home improvement, self-improvement, marketing, and stuff like that. So she's trying, like I said, she's trying to build this little business right now, and that's primarily where all of her reading goes. She's not doing any fiction, which is lame. I'm kidding. And I need to hurry up. I got to let this get away from me. Happy birthday. Hope your year is starting off well. Happy reading year ahead. I'm currently reading Gates of Fire by Stan. Okay. I'm thoroughly enjoying them. I haven't read that. Have you ever played No Man's Sky Space? No. I have a friend from, old friend from high school who plays that. He calls it a cult. He literally calls it a cult when he plays it. Thank you. Another recommendation, both the movie and manga, called Old Boy. Yes, I have not seen them. I hear so much about that. Dark Horse just reprint a deluxe edition, a manga paperback. Yeah, similar to Trigun. The movie, yes. They may even made an American remake version of that. I've never seen either, but I have heard so much about it. I agree with Patch. Gates of Fire is really good. DT Frank Muller, tragic death in motorcycle crash. Yes, Frank Muller. Okay, Frank Muller. He is the voice actor, and he is amazing. How can you convince someone to read sci-fi or fantasy, especially for someone who have only read fiction and nonfiction works? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard just to convince people that it's a legitimate hobby, because people like talk down on fiction readers, like, yeah, oh, like fiction is some type of less reading experience than nonfiction or something like that. And it's just not. It really isn't. Ralph Lister, good choice. Okay, there we go. Ralph Lister, and what was the other one? I just saw it. Frank Muller. Yes. All right, let's go back. Discovered your channel this year. Discovered my 2 favorite authors because of you, PKD and Ken Liu. I am on the Veiled Throne right now. Just wanted to say thank you. Favorite Ken Liu short story. I'm gonna say the Paper Menagerie tied. I know I'm cheating. Tied with Mono no Aware. Those 2 are the 2 that literally made me cry. And I would have to say I think the Paper Menagerie is the better story. Okay, so if I had to pick, it's going to be the Paper Menagerie. But I think the Mono no Aware, I was so shockingly impressed with it because I knew exactly what he was doing with that story from pretty much, I don't know, like a third of the way in. And I knew where it was going to go, and I knew how it was going to end, and he still got me. That's when I was like, dude, he did so good with that one. I mean, I was struggling to get through the last couple of paragraphs. Like, it was a legit struggle because I was so emotional reading it, and I knew where it was going. That was good. That was good. Also, The Veiled Throne has my favorite, I don't know if you finished it yet, but The Veiled Throne has my favorite climax out of the entire Dandelion Dynasty because it is so bonkers out there. It is actually the most disliked by people. People normally are like, it was okay, the book was fine, but the climax, I hated it because it was just, they prefer the Speaking Bones, and they prefer, why am I blanking on all this stuff? And they prefer the Wall of Storms. But for me personally, my favorite climax was The Veiled Throne because it's just bonkers. And I was so engaged, legitimately, throughout the whole thing. All right. The guy who voiced Tango is the narrator for the Black Company books, Mark P. Love him. My favorite narrator this week. That's funny. How many Folio Society editions do you have? I don't know. 1, 2, 5. Yep, I can't count them. There's too many back there. Probably in the realm of 15, I would say. I buy a couple a year. I always buy myself one for my birthday, and then I'll probably about 3 or 4 a year, and then I literally have a list of books that I want from Folio on the fridge with a magnet, and I'm just like, told my fiance, I was like, well, if you ever, don't know what to get me for my birthday or Father's Day or Christmas, just, look on the list. It's there. There's a list there. Pick any book off that list and I'll be happy. So I think I'm probably between 15 and 20 now. Have you ever gotten lost in the book loft? Oh, you are an Ohio person, or you have been to Ohio. I adore that place. It is, yeah. No, I don't think I've gotten lost, but it's like a maze. Anyone who hasn't been there, I forget, Daniel Green might have done a video walking around that place, but it is like a maze, and it's like 3 stories of this old building in the German village in Ohio. It is just the coolest bookstore you will ever go to. I got my very first, I'm not wearing one. My book shirts that you see me wear in these videos are from a company called Out of Print, and I got my very first one. It was my 1984 one that I still wear, and I got it from the Book Loft, and then I just started ordering them off the internet because they're truly amazing. But yes, that I've gone there, and I love that store. Will Mr. Dark be the ordained minister? I hope not. Do you have any of the Subterranean Press? No. I have all the hardcovers right here, but they are all just regular old, I don't know, the regular hardcovers, and they're all like different heights because you can't get the same. Trying to figure, just getting them in hardcover was expensive enough. Trying to find them all to match, not even possible. Where do you recommend starting with Haruo Murakami and Ishiguro? Not necessarily your favorite, but where you'd recommend an interested reader start. I would say, if you're starting Murakami, I would say either the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, or actually what might be even better is A Wild Sheep Chase. It's shorter. It's a really good introduction to kind of what he does and the vibe that he has for writing. I actually did a whole video, believe it or not. I think it's called Where to Start with Murakami. So, and there's like, I had a couple of different levels, like where do you want to like ease your way in, dive into the deep end. But yeah, probably Wild Sheep Chase or Wind Up Bird Chronicle. And then Ishiguro, I'm going to say, anywhere. My favorite's Claire and the Sun, and I recommend that. That's where I started. I think it's a great starting point, but I think, Never Let Me Go is a good starting point. Berry Giant might not be a great starting point just because it's a little bit slower and not quite as engaging. That sounds terrible. It's one of my favorites, but it's not traditional. And then, I don't know. Yeah. I would say Never Let Me Go or Claire and the Sun are both great starting points. Happy birthday. Got the Big Gormenghast hardcover on your recommendation. Looking forward to reading it. I hope you like it. I love it. I was in from the first sentence. You read that first paragraph and you'll know what I'm saying. Do you know the booktuber Ian Ghibli? I'd love a collab. I have seen him. Yes, I have seen a few of his videos, but I don't know much more than that. Speaking of honeymoons, if money was not an issue, what would be your dream vacation? Ooh, dream vacation for a honeymoon. I would say, I don't know, either somewhere, now this is generic, either somewhere tropical, and I don't even know where that tropical would be, somewhere nice, something with nice crystal clear waters, in the Gulf of Mexico or, something like that, or something like a Japan. I have never been to Japan, and I think it would be amazing to go. Actually, my nephew just went on his honeymoon to Japan, and I was super jealous. I was like, "That's such a neat place to go for your honeymoon." But him and his new wife are like, they went for like the anime scene because they're both like huge into anime. So that's why they wanted to go. All classic literature was fiction at the time. I've started my first journey to the Dark Tower and just finished The Gunslinger. Can you give me a one word pitch preview for each of the other books? I cannot. That's too much. And I'm sorry. That's wild though. I can't even sum up the whole series. Give them historical fantasy like the Warlord Chronicles to get them into epic fantasy. John, I hope you pick up Enemy of God before you forget everything from the Winter King. I will get to that's another one. That's another one kind of like the one that the Prince of Nothing. That's another one that's just kind of on the back burner right now. Mark Victor is incredible. Listen to a lot of him in the Nightstand series, and he is also great in Hyperion. Do you ever have a popcorn read between your more involved books? I do. I'm currently using Dungeon Crawler Carl as kind of like popcorn in between books. And my favorite popcorn in between books are the Vampire Hunter D series. And I just love it to death. It's not the best series. It's not the most, I don't know. It is just, it's just comfort reads for me. I love them so much. They're not well written. The prose isn't great. The stories aren't great. Well, that's not true. The stories can be, some of those are amazing stories. I love them. But yeah, it's probably my favorite in between popcorn read is the Vampire Hunter D books. It's literally impossible to find a Memories of Ice trade paperback. Really? Trade paperback or just paperback period? Because I thought they were still in print. Now, I know I had a Memories of Ice paperback shoved in the middle of my hardcovers here because it was literally impossible to find a hardcover for it. They had one I found online for $500, and I was not spending $500 on a stupid book. It took me forever to find one. I think I finally found one for $75, and I was able to do. That's the most expensive Malazan book I have because I couldn't find one in hardcover. It was a nightmare. Where do you find all of your book shirts? I get them from a company called Out of Print, just outofprint.com, and they have all kinds of book shirts, but my favorites are the ones that they just print the cover. It's like a vintage book cover on a shirt, and I get those. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got one for my birthday yesterday from my fiance. She got me Frankenstein, so that's awesome. Beginning night shoot series and reading Hyperion soon this night. Oh, I didn't. It's my birthday too, and I had it before you did. Did you? I take it. Well, you must be older than me. Are there any authors you aim to read all of their books? Good luck with Stephen King. Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure. I want to read everything by Ishiguro. I want to read everything by Murakami. That's going to take a while. I hope to read everything from Philip K. Dick, but he's another one. I think he's got like 35 books. And I think, well, you know what? I think I'm in the upper teens. I'm almost at 20, so I'm not too far off. So yes. And I think I've read everything from Ken Liu right now. Well, not quite everything. I haven't read all of the short stories. I've kind of picking and choosing short stories out of that other book, The Hidden Girl. I haven't actually finished that yet. But I've at the very least dabbled in all of Ken Liu's books. So, but yeah. I've got I don't know if that's Boss Log or yeah, anyway, I don't know how to say that. That's what I'm saying. Song of Ice and Fire, Malazan ready to go. Currently reading the collected poems of Ursula K. Le Guin and Mervyn Peake. Interesting. I didn't know they had a collected poems of Ursula K. Le Guin. I find it difficult to engage with her books. They're good. I like her books, but they're not, I don't know. It's like they don't hook me in a way that other authors do. And she's so highly regarded and so highly spoken of. I feel like I'm missing something every time I pick up one of her books, because I've read The Left Hand of Darkness, I've read A Wizard of Earthsea, and I'm always like, that was fine, but I don't feel like I'm dying and falling in love with it in a way that other people fall in love with her writing. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something every time I pick up her stuff. That is the right series, but unfortunately, oh, sorry. You guys you just have your conversation without me. Sorry. I won't interrupt. I keep clicking on these comments that aren't for me, I guess. Come to Brazil. In the honeymoon. It's pretty cheap and fun, but you may be robbed. Okay. That's a really good selling point right there. I'll have to check something out. I don't know where we're going. You know what? We might just come back home and call it a day. No, I'm kidding. Happy birthday. You have no gray. Must be young. I'm 42 and I have gray everywhere. Like it's hard. Can you see it? It's in my beard everywhere. Yeah, I'm not that young. I have a child in high school. I'm an old man at this point. He just turned 15. He thinks he's something special. He is something special, let's be honest. I love both my kids. They're wonderful. I got lucky. I have really good kids. Just finished The Gunslinger today on my first journey to the Dark Tower. Hearing you gush about it made me finally take the jump. Such a unique book, and I can't wait to continue. It is unique. The whole series is unique. There are some ups and there are some downs. Some books are better than others. It's not like consistently 10 out of 10s. But it's so good. It is one of the most unique series you'll ever read, just hands down. And it is somehow, for some reason, for me personally, it speaks to me on an emotional level. like more than probably any other book series. Once you get to the end of book 7, it hits in a way that just nothing else has for me as of yet. It's really, really, really good. Like, just, it's amazing. I love every bit of it. Once you read book 2, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about when you're like, wow, where are we at? Like, what are we doing? This is going places that I didn't quite see coming, maybe? I don't know. It's crazy. You need to read The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin. Very PKD like. I've heard that. I don't have that one. It's not. Oh yeah, I do. I lied. It's right there on my shelf. I thought I had I thought I had The Dispossessed for some reason on my shelf. The Dispossessed is the one I don't have. The Lathe of Heaven is the one I do have. So, but I think the next Ursula K. Le Guin book I want to read next is actually book 2 in the Earthsea saga or series or whatever you call that one. The Dark Tower is incredible, just as weird and wonderful as you could possibly imagine. Yes, and it's also, not to get too constantly sidetracked on the Dark Tower, but it's also the most quintessentially American thing I have ever read. Like, there are series out there that are, book series are normally pseudo-European or pseudo-Asian, worlds like the Dandelion Dynasty, or even pseudo-African worlds like Black Leopard, Red Wolf. But nothing out there is just 100% quintessentially American in the way that the Dark Tower is. It is unapologetically American, and it just makes it unique and feel different than any other series that you're ever going to read. It's just, it's fascinating. I didn't enjoy Song of Susanna at all, and it's still a top 10 series for me. I liked that one. I remember not liking it on my first read through. And then I did my reread a year or two ago, and I liked it a lot more on my reread. I softened on it quite a bit. It's not like your favorite. It's not the best book in the series, but I was surprised when I did my reread, and I liked it a lot more than I thought. And then I remembered, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And it was pretty good. Actually, there were some decisions that King made in book 5, The Wolves of the Kala, that made me enjoy Song of Susanna a little bit more, because it kind of picked up the pace, and we felt like we were kind of dilly-dallying and creating drama for drama's sake in some of the mid-sections of that 5th book. And that was not there in book 6. Anyway, I turned 42 in a few months. My kids are 5 and 3. You started production at a smarter time. Hope you took good care. Yeah, they took good care of you today. I said, now don't, no offense to you when I say this, but I said when I was younger, my firstborn was born when I was 27. That's my son. And my daughter was born when I was 30. And I was actually kind of like, when my son was like 2, I was like, we need to hurry up and have the second kid that we were talking about at the time. I said, because I want to be done having kids when I'm 30. Like, 27 to 30 seemed like a good time to have kids. I'm not too young, but I'm not too old. I was like, but I want to be done by the time I'm 30, because I do not want to be raising a teenager in my 50s. That sounded awful. So, no offense, but that was my plan anyway. That's, get it done when I got it done. Happy birthday. Thank you. Wolves of the Kala is the weakest. Wizard and Glass is the best. I would agree with, I wouldn't agree with that. I have a hot take. I think The Drawing of the Three is the weakest. I don't know if The Drawing of the Three, I say that all the time. I say it constantly that it's the weakest. I don't know if it's the weakest. I have beef with The Drawing of the Three because I fell in love with the world in The Gunslinger. Like, I fell in love with that world, Midworld, and everything that it was. And then he takes this hard left turn in The Drawing of the Three, and we leave Midworld. We get like 3 little blips of Midworld, and the rest is all world hopping between places I found less interesting. So I was really grumpy about that for a long time. So I had massive beef with the drawing of the three. But Wizard and Glass is right up there with the Gunslinger. I still say the Gunslinger is the best because I just have this weird fondness for it. I think it's my favorite. But Wizard and Glass is right up there with it. For years, right after I read Wizard and Glass, I would have told you, if you would have asked me what the best book was, I would have said Wizard and Glass by a long shot. It was actually on my reread that I kind of just said, you know what? Fuck it, it's the Gunslinger. I like that one the best. Wizard and Glass is by far my favorite as well. Book is bonkers. It's so good. And for a 500-page flashback, it doesn't get much better. It's everything you want from a Dark Tower book, everything you want from a flashback, everything you wanted from Roland's life. Oh, it's so good. Favorite non-science fiction or horror book? Also, science fiction fantasy book. Also, what manga would you recommend for someone who has never read manga or watched anime? Yikes. See, now that's a big, I don't know, because what are you interested in? Like, what kind of are you a fantasy? Are you a horror? I started with Berserk. That's intense. I don't know if I would recommend that if you're not in, like, if you're a grimdark fantasy kind of person, go straight into Berserk. If you're a sci-fi guy, maybe it's hard to go wrong with Akira. That's for sure. Blam is my favorite of all time, but that's weird. That's very difficult if you're not into like reading. I don't know. That was hard to read because there's no words and it doesn't flow super well. So maybe don't start there. But yeah, favorite non-sci-fi fantasy or horror book. You know what? I'll say Devil in the White City. I adored that book. That's kind of like a non-fiction story about the Chicago World's Fair and the serial killer H.H. Holmes. And I read it as though it were nonfiction, and I adored it. And then I guess Murphy read it, and she kind of tore it apart. She kind of ripped it to shreds because it wasn't as accurate as she wanted it to be or something. And I thought, oh, damn, maybe. I don't know. But I loved it. I thought it was great. Have you read the comics, The Dark Tower Beginnings? They were great. King was involved, Roland's origin story. No, I have read none of those. The artwork I have seen. The artwork is phenomenal. It's very anime-esque, and I just adore it. But no, I haven't actually read it. I am raising 2 teenagers in my 50s. I'm so sorry. I meant no disrespect to anybody. I just meant I didn't want to do that. I thought, my brother and his wife had their first kid at like 35, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm going to be old, and I'm already getting old and grumpy, and I'm in my young 40s. Like, I feel like a grumpy old man sometimes. I don't know how I would do with kids. Boy, you crazy drawing the 3. I know. Everybody that thinks that, but I get so much pushback. It's so many people's favorite too. Like I said, I've got beef with it because it took a left turn into a place I didn't want to be, but it is really good. They're all good. Yeah, I had the same. Yeah. Planning on reading novels. Yep. Good luck. They are awesome. They're dense and they don't hold your hand. And it can be tricky keeping up, but it's worth every second of it. Drawing of the 3 has Eddie on the plane with... Yes, it does. And you know what? Let's be real. That scene in particular that you're talking about was like one of the most anxiety-ridden scenes. Like, it's hard to explain. Well, it's hard for books to really induce a severe amount of anxiety inside of me. It's like when you're like, oh, it's hard for me to be scared reading a book. That's why I tend to lean into like the creepy and a lot of my favorite horror books aren't even that scary because it's hard for a book to scare you. It's hard for a book to cause that kind of deep ingrained anxiety like that scene does. That scene caused me a lot of anxiety back in the day when I was reading it. Holy shit. I've said it before and I'll say it again till you hate me. You have to read Red Rising. Yes, the first book has some tropes you don't love, but the rest of the series will blow your mind, I promise. I'm going to get there. This isn't even the first time that it's been brought up this live stream. So I'm going to get there. Red Rising, right there. Red Rising turned me off. But that's also a tough sell. That's also a tough sell when somebody's like, just get through the first book. Second one gets good. But I'm going to read it eventually. Or like a lot of people are going to eventually just hang me over it. Did you read This Is How You Lose the Time War? No, I have not read that. Gladstone back in 2023 when it was all the buzz. If so, your thoughts? No. So, sorry, I have no thoughts because I didn't read it. It seemed, if I remember correctly, it was polarizing because there were a lot of people. It was either like your favorite book that you read that year or it was a terrible book and you didn't understand the hype, at least if my memory serves me correct. I think that's where that pretty much landed. You mentioned liking one-shot books with series potential. Try Mistborn. That meets that criteria really well. I never recommend, but in this case I will. I want to try Sanderson. Actually, I've said when I do try Sanderson, I'm starting with Mistborn just because I've asked a lot of people, where do I start with Sanderson, Mistborn, or the big epic fantasy one that I for some reason can't think of the name of. And it was actually my brother-in-law, well, soon to be brother-in-law, who just was like, no, just do Mistborn. And so if Jamie says Mistborn, I'll go with Mistborn because, he knows what he's talking about, as far as I'm concerned. Proposing a 2026 buddy read challenge. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I read that last year, so I wouldn't want to reread it again this soon. It is really good, though. Did I do a dedicated video? I think I did a dedicated video for that one. I loved it. I really did love that one. It lulls in the middle and it slowed down, and I like big books and I don't like big books. Sometimes I read a lot of big books and I'm like, did this really need to be 900 pages long or 1,000 pages long? So you really have to justify having a book that big for me to endorse it. And there was a lull in the middle of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell that I did not, I was questioning. I was like, man, I don't know. I feel like this is dragging and I feel like this isn't justifying itself. But by the time I got to the end and I finished it, by the time you hammer home those last few emotional beats and the notes that it lands on and the notes that it ends on, I don't think they would have hit as hard if I didn't have all of that time living in that world. So even though I was feeling taxed reading it in the middle, by the time it ended, I felt like I was glad that it took the time that it took, and I felt it ultimately justified itself by the time it was done and over with. Thank you. Malazan is on my TBR for this year. Good luck. I hope you like it. Don't feel bad tapping out if you don't, though. Yes, you do. I actually don't. I worked on my birthday, and everybody always yells at me. They're like, why would you do that? I'm like, it was a Wednesday. What the hell am I supposed to do? I mean, so what am I going to do? Take off work and take the kids to school and drop them off and pick them back up? I don't know. Except for one character, I thought Red Rising was aggressively fine. Yeah, I don't know. I hear it's all over the place. I hear a lot of things, good things, and you know what? I've never heard anyone say Red Rising is bad. I've heard pretty much it's great or it's mid. So there's that. Thank you, thank you. It's still awesome in my opinion, and I think you'll enjoy it. I was just saying the rest of the books are even better. Yeah, that's kind of like, I'm not going to say it's like Sun Eater, but that's kind of like my experience with Sun Eater. Was that first book was fine. It was good. It was good, but it definitely goes up from there. Have you read any Becky Chambers? She has a duology that's more cozy fantasy and also a SFF series. No, no, I have not read anything by her. I'll have to check it out. Your reviews always highlight that we share similar taste in books, though I am scared to try Murakami. Not sure why. He is amazing. He's wonderful. Other than he has some weird... Talk to Heidi about it. She'll tell you all about what the problems with Murakami are. But for magical realism, I haven't found someone to do it better yet. If you could only read the Dune series or Book of the New Sun for the rest of your life, which would you choose? My favorite two series. I see, that's so hard. I don't know. Probably... I'm going to say Book of the New Sun. It feels like... Because if that's the only thing that I've got, then it's more dense and it's more weird, and it'll give me more reread value than Dune would. I'm thinking. Even though Dune's a lot longer, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Book of the New Sun for right now. Just, it feels like it is going to be more rereadable, give me more to dive into, more to do with my time, and more, yeah. Just more. There you go. The Will of the Many is just a better version of Red Rising. I love the rest of the Red Rising series. These people are really going, some of these people are going hard on the Red Rising now. I thought The Will of the Many was really good, though. And I liked The Strength of the Few better than The Will of the Many. And that's, I won't say that's an unpopular opinion, but that book's polarizing. So you pretty much land on one side of that fence or the other. And, yeah, there's a few of us that, landed on the same side as I did. So I liked it, though. I often find reading the source material makes other books that do the same thing feel less impactful. Example, Red Rising is clearly influenced by Dune, but so is Star Wars. What do you mean by source material? Like the books that were clearly influenced by other books? I don't mind that too much. I've read, say, something like... I like seeing all the pieces and the way they line up and the way they come together. I love Metro, which is Metro 33, which is like a book series about living down in the metro after a nuclear apocalypse, and it was extremely heavily inspired by Roadside Picnic. I've also read Roadside Picnic. I love them both. Actually, I love the Southern Reach trilogy, the Annihilation books, however you want to look at it. And those are heavily inspired by Roadside Picnic. And I really like all of them. And I like reading them and seeing how they kind of go together and are influenced by each other. I read 1984 several years ago. And then I just last year, read We. And damn, if 1984 is almost a ripoff of We. And that's wild to say because 1984 has influenced so many things nowadays, and people read those and they're like, oh, it's really just, this is inspired by 1984. Well, technically 1984 was inspired by We. So no, it doesn't bother me, and I like that. I don't feel like the newer versions are any less than the other versions for the most part. Okay, I'll be that person. I really did not care for Red Rising. I read the first 4 books. Wow, then DNF'd the rest of the series, even though I have the first 6 books. Heck, I'd even give them to you. That's crazy. My P.O. box is listed in the description of every video. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But if you wanted to send them over, you know, I might get to them eventually. I'm not, it probably won't move them up on my list of priorities though. And you were trying to reference Sanderson Stormlight S. Thank you. I don't, you know what? I think my brain is melting the old. You see, this is, I'm getting old. And I just, nothing works anymore. It's terrible. I found that your taste in books is so similar to mine. It's crazy. 9.9 out of 10 books you recommend I end up loving. Because of you, I discovered PKD, Murakami, and Ishiguro. That's awesome. I'm weird. I'm out there reading crazy stuff that I feel like I'm weird. As far as booktubers are concerned, I haven't read the vast majority of the things that are popular and trendy out there, but then I get myself hooked on people like Murakami and Ishiguro and Philip K. Dick, and I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, no, it's awesome that I can help out with that. I find stuff all over the place just randomly, and I get a lot of stuff. I pull so many recommendations directly from my comment section. It's wild. So I have to say thank you to you guys just as much as, maybe you guys would say thank you to me, because Gormangast, I pulled that straight out of the comment section of one of my videos. I forget which one. And I just filed it away under stuff I might want to try one day. And woo, boy, that was a home run and a half. Please send this man your Red Rising. That's funny. Happy birthday. Found your channel this year and love the production quality and your taste in books. Read several after watching your videos. Thank you. I put a lot of effort into the production value in particular, as a matter of fact. Whether or not it's justified, I don't know. Like, sometimes I worry, like I'm being serious here. Sometimes I worry, like I'm like, oh, does the lighting look good? Does the audio sound good? And then I worry, does the content even match the production value? Like, does it matter if the videos look nice? If the quality of the content isn't up to snuff? Like, sometimes I legitimately worry, like, my content's not good enough. And like, I do a book review and I watch it back and I'm like, I sound like an idiot. Like, what am I even saying right now? Anyway, so yeah, but I try, and thank you for the compliment. Are you a cat guy? If so, the Traveling Cat Chronicles is absolute perfection. Or if you're an animal person in general, great little book. Japanese literature is fantastic. I will have to check that out. I am an animal person. I've had pets my whole life. I have had cats and dogs if I had to choose. Like, if you're like, you can only have either cats or dogs for the rest of your life, I would have to choose cats. I would say I'm more of a cat person than a dog person. They're lower maintenance and they're easier to take care of. And yeah, taking dogs out and then walking them, and then they're energetic. And I had a husky. You want to talk about the most work you will ever do for an animal in your entire life? Go get a husky. Like, they are. Now, I loved my dog to death, and he passed away, and I've got him cremated and in a box literally on the other side of this room. But a lot of work. So yeah, I'll probably say more cat than dog for sure. Oh. Oh, my man. Have you read any Ted Chiang? His stories are incredible. I have not. Your content is good enough. So many good ideas, especially for weird or complex books. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Any books you don't normally mention that have changed your life? I I don't think so. Not changed my life. Um, that's asking a lot. I don't know. I tend to go on and on about the same books over and over again, I feel like. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I bring up Under the Dome enough. Not that it changed my life or anything like that, but I got so invested in that book when I was reading it. I read that in literally 1 week, and it's like 1,200 pages or something crazy like that. It's a really big book. So, not necessarily changed my life, but I don't think I've mentioned that one enough. But yeah, I don't know. Hmm. Seriously, if you are write down Traveling Cat Chronicles, it's beautiful. Happy birthday. Thank you. I will have it's yeah, and Japanese fiction I tend to really enjoy their what everything I've read from Japan so far I have enjoyed. Like not just Murakami and but like Musashi or just yeah, so far everything I've read out of there is really 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 good. Gotta leave now, but thanks for all you do, Ramble. Your videos are easily the ones I look forward to the most and my favorite way to take the edge off a stressful day. So thank you. Well, thank you for the nice comment, and thank you for being here for the live stream, and good luck, and see you later, and have a nice day. Thank you for all the nice things. Talking about Japanese literature, have you read anything by Yukio Mishima? The Sound of Waves is good start, and The Temple of Golden Pavilion and The Sailor Who Fell from Grace are masterpieces. I have heard of none of that. I will have to check it out though. It sounds good. I want to. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to go on. I was going to go off on a tangent there. Side. Never mind. I Hear Lonely Castle in the Mirror is fantastic. Another Japanese one. Awesome. I don't know why that. Now I am going to go off on my side tangent. I recently uh, watched. This has nothing to do with anything, but Castle reminded me. I recently watched. Made my daughter sit down and watch Howl's Moving Castle, which is, Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, however you're supposed to say that, and it's so good. Oh my god, I forgot how good that movie was, and now I want to read that book. But yeah, speaking of Japanese things, and I've been getting into Studio Ghibli. Actually, following that train of thought, we watched Howl's Moving Castle, and then last week for movie night we watched My Neighbor Totoro, and it is I've never seen that one, and so it was my first watch for that. Oh goodness gracious, that's another one. I still think Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite Ghibli movie ever, period, hands down. But Totoro's probably in second place now. Like, it was that good. I very much disliked Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Will book 2 and 3 be any better for me, or is it more of the same? It is a clear step up in book 2, I thought, but there is they are better. It is a step up. It does get better, but it is also kind of more of the same. It's hard to explain. She has a way of writing. She's in not a big hurry to get going or to the end or anywhere. She's kind of slow in the way she does it, but I think she does drama great. I think she does like tension great. I think she builds her stories extremely well. I think her characters are well done and well developed. Book 2 is I shouldn't say by far my favorite. Book 2 is my favorite in the trilogy, and I think it is the best in the trilogy. So if you go into it, expect a step up, but expect her to kind of also still be doing what she's doing, but just doing it better and more engaging. And if book 2 doesn't get you, don't even waste your time with book 3, because I think it's most people agree that it's the best. I think most people would argue it's the best uh, Realm of the Elderlings book, period. So if you're not got, if book 2 doesn't get you, nothing's gonna give up on her at that point. How about this? The Wind Up Cat Chronicles, and it's about dangling one toy just out of reach of a cat. That's funny. Book 2 was my favorite. Patience is goated. Yep. Yeah, Miyazaki is awesome. Spirited Away is good. Mononoke is pretty good, but darker. Grave of the Fireflies, I hear, is devastating. Too scared to watch that one. I have not watched, actually, Grave of the Fireflies or Mononoke. I'm probably going to have to start watching more of these. Spirited Away I thought was good, but I think it's overrated. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, the best one, Spirited Away. Actually, that's probably down towards the bottom of my list. But then again, Howl's Moving Castle is the number one. It's at the very top. It has not been dethroned yet. Totoro is perfect, by the way. It is. Now, I know we're off on this Ghibli tangent, and that's okay. But that one shocked me when there was no... I was going to say there's no tension. There's no anything in my neighbor Totoro. There's no tension. There's no conflict. There's no like antagonist. There's almost no plot. Like and still the movie is amazing. Like I don't know how you can have a movie where nothing happens. These people moved to the country and it's like the dad, what am I trying to say? The dad and the kids move there, and their lives are not great, and they move there for a bad reason. Mom's sick. I don't think that's a spoiler, and it's really just dad and the kids trying to make the best of life while they're there, and that's it. The movie ends. It's just, but every second of it is so good, and it's just I could get into like deep themes of what is happening and what are these themes that are being presented to you, and like it ended and I was like, man, nothing happened, and then the more I thought about it I was like, but it was about this and it was about this and it was about this and it was about all these different things, and I was like, oh, I guess a lot was happening there while nothing was happening. I don't know how to explain it. It's so good. Howl's is second for me. I wonder what's first then if Howl's is second. Yeah, Totoro is just like slice of life. The only tension is the sick mom and the loss. Yeah, she gets lost for like a minute at the end, but it's not even, it's not even that. It's really learning how to live and how to, I don't know. It's so good though. I loved it. Oh, Totoro. Oh, Totoro. Oh, okay, that's okay. All right. Well, they're my top two as well then. So we have the same number one and number two. They're just in a different order. I don't know. I think Howl's Moving Castle is so funny. I watched it and I laughed the entire time. Like I couldn't. Once again, I forgot how good the movie was. I also forgot how funny the movie was, and I just enjoy Howl and his approach to life. It is like he's just so accepting of everyone. He walks into his castle and there's a new person there that has just invaded his space. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. It's wonderful. Which Clive Barker book do you recommend reading after The Hellbound Heart? Just read it last year and I absolutely loved his writing. Looking to read some more. Me too. I would say Damnation Game is the one I would go into next, but I'm also not super well versed in all of his works. I've only read a few of them. I hear Weave World's really good, but I can't vouch for it. I would say go straight into Damnation Game. It's really, really a good book. It's well done. It's it's just really, really good. The Scarlet Gospels is good. Not the Scarlet Gospels. The Great and Secret show's good too, but Damnation Game's better. So go into that one next, I would say. Ponyo's bizarre. I haven't watched that one yet. Like I said, I'm gonna start going down a Ghibli rabbit hole here soon because I got my daughter hooked. So we're probably gonna start watching them together. I think she watched Princess Mononoke without me, so she's probably in trouble. Did you watch Netflix's Three Body Problem adaptation? How did you feel about the changes? I did not. I did and I didn't. I started it and I watched the first couple of episodes, like 2 or 3 of them, and then I fell off. And I need to jump back in there because what I saw was really well done. I was enjoying it. I had zero problems with the way that they were approaching it, at least in the first couple of episodes. But because that's going to be hard. They're going to have to make some massive changes in order to just make it filmable because it's so weird and it's so dense. By the time you get to book 3, it's just wild and out there. And I think, yeah, so I don't know, but I think it's what I saw was good, but what I saw was also very little. Books of Blood, Volume 1 and 2. Yeah. Heidi's been on this Books of Blood thing for a minute. She loves it. I just started Tom's Crossing this morning, solely based off of your recommendation. Just wanted you to know that. 38 pages in, about 1,200 left to go. 38. So had you finished the whole prologue? Because that had me hooked. Like, once the prologue's over, I'm in love now with Tom, and I'm in love with Kaylin, and I oh my God. And then, yeah, the event that happens at the end of the prologue, you're like, really? Now we're going to do this and then get to chapter 3. I know it's like these chapters are stupid long. So when I say the end of chapter 3, that's like 150 pages into the book or something crazy like that, maybe more. But if you can make chapter 3, you're done. It's over. You're not going to put the book down until you've finished it because it is stupendous. I loved it. I just loved it. That's if you can get into the writing style and you can get into all of the weird conversational bits of it and the language that he's using. And what's the other thing? Oh, the side tangents. He goes off on a lot of side tangents, and that throws a lot of people off too. Anyway, here's an obscure book I shouldn't have read in high school due to its being terrible influence. Pong Water by Michael Hornberg. I don't know what that is, and that sounds like a bad influence on a high school student for sure. I don't know. Have you read a lot of Dean Koontz? I'm reading Odd Thomas right now, but was wondering if you had any favorites. No, I don't even remember what book I read. I was a big Stephen King fan when I was young, and I read one. A friend of my mom gave me a box of books, and they were all Dean Koontz, and I read one of them, and I did not like it. I can't remember which one it was now, but I did not like it. So I immediately put the box aside, and I never read any more. And I went right back to reading my Stephen King books, and I was happy. So then whenever, this is back when I was like, I don't know, 19 or 8, late teens, early 20s. And so people would bring up that Dean Koontz versus Stephen King. And I was like, well, Stephen King, obviously, because that one book I read was, I don't know. I should probably go back and reread him and see if I enjoy it. But he's one of those ones that I haven't gotten too far. Or I did, I had that one bad experience back when I was a kid. How is Fallout Season 2? I do love Walter Goggins. Did you see him in the TV show Justified? I didn't watch Justified. I've seen a few episodes here and there, and I love, actually, both those guys. I love Goggins, and I also love the lead actor guy. I can't think of his name either, from the guy from Santa Clarita Diet. But I haven't watched season 2 yet. I watched the first episode, and I loved it. It's amazing. I'm ready to go. They're on like episode 4 or 5. I need to get caught up, but I've been doing a whole lot of other stuff And we watched Stranger Things, and then we watched, we've been doing our Ghibli movies. So normally on movie nights, we'll watch like a TV show or a movie or something. And I need to hurry up, and I think this weekend's going to be getting caught up on Fallout Season 2 because it's so good. Everything about it's good. It's so well done. Walton Goggins is amazing. I don't know. I need to watch. Speaking of Walton Goggins, I need to watch The Righteous Gemstones. That looks amazing, and I haven't watched anything of it. Amy reading rituals, joint and coffee with it in the evening. Oh no, I like reading before bed. What? Oh, any. I think that's supposed to be any reading rituals. Maybe. Not really. I don't. If that's any, I don't have any real reading rituals. I just kind of go with it. I don't know. Writing style took a minute. Yeah, it does, but it's really good and it's really worth it. Have you read The Tommyknockers? They attempted a movie, and I only made it about 15 minutes before I had to stop the DVD. Oh man, I've seen the movie back when I was a kid. No, I haven't read The Tommyknockers, and I want to actually really badly because I think that's the last book that he wrote before he quit doing drugs. Like, that was the book that broke him. Like, it was finally like, you've had enough. You need to stop. So I'm just curious to read it just simply because it's completely bonkers and off the wall from what I hear. And I also hear it's not a good book, but that doesn't stop my curiosity from wanting to get in there and see what, that's all about. What is one book you wish would be adapted to screen? I would love to see Ubik. I would too. Directed by Guy Ritchie. Feel like his storytelling would be awesome with the weirdness of that book. Maybe. On the Guy Ritchie part, yeah, it would probably fit pretty good. It's bonkers and off the wall. That would be amazing. And I've heard people describe that book as unfilmable. I disagree. I think it's 100% filmable, and I think obviously Philip K. Dick agrees, or he wouldn't have written the screenplay. He literally wrote a screenplay for Ubik so that it could be made into a movie. I've got it on my shelf. But so clearly he thought it could be a movie because he wrote a screenplay for it. I don't know. Anything else? What else would I like to see? I want to see The Buried Giant because that is a movie. I heard that Guillermo del Toro is trying to make that into a stop motion animation movie like he did Pinocchio. I would kill to see that. Oh my God, that should be his next project. Hands down. That or At the Mountains of Madness, which he has been trying to make for like 20 years, and Hollywood, for some stupid reason, won't give him the money because they're idiots and they don't have any taste, apparently. Will you ever read the Red Rising saga? Yeah, we just discussed that a little while ago. I want to. It's on the back burner. I'm going to get there eventually. I don't know when. It was supposed to say any, LOL. Anyway, I'm out. Much love. Happy birthday. See you in your comment section. Thank you very much. Have a nice night or day or wherever you are, and thanks for being here. I think The Dead Zone is very underrated Stephen King book. Definitely not the best King, but book I read, but it is my favorite. Do you like it? I haven't read that one yet either. There's so many Stephen King books I haven't gotten to yet. I don't know. The movie's interesting, that's for sure. But yeah, no. I would say, speaking of underrated Stephen King, I'm going to say Needful Things and Revival are the two most underrated Stephen King books, in my opinion, of the ones that I have read, for sure. What's your favorite Vonnegut novel? That's not fair because I've only ever read one, and it is Slaughterhouse-Five, and it is just so good. So good. I mean, it's heart-wrenching and heartbreaking and just everything about it's so good. I need to read more Vonnegut. Next one I want to read is, I think I'm going to go straight into Cat's Cradle. So You have to let me know what you think of that one, because that's where I think I'm going next. The Buried Giant is on my TBR this year. Just finished Never Let Me Go. It is wonderful. Don't let anyone tell you different. Everybody says it's not a good book. I loved it. It is a fantasy book, kind of like takes place in Arthurian time, and it's this elderly couple that they live in it. There's gosh, I've talked about it so much. There's this mist that makes you forget, and it's got like, they go out on a journey to the next town over, and it's like this weird fantasy novel, but towards the end of the book, the fantasy elements slowly kind of fade away, and you're left with this this very touching revelation of this couple, and it's really, 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 really good. The ending got me on that one, like really got me. It's just phenomenal. Like I said, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Have you played The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2? If so, what are your thoughts on them, especially the second one? I have not. I don't own a PlayStation. I own an Xbox. I know that's not popular, but I just, that's this is where my games are. That's where my favorite games are. My Halos and the stuff that I grew up playing. And you can have one or the other. I guess you can have both, but I pick one or the other because basically it's a third-party machine to play third-party games. So I play everything on my Xbox. I guess I could get them on the PC. I do have a PC literally right here, and it could play anything I wanted, but I haven't played them. So no. I liked the Tommyknockers. Best premise ever. You will never look at your backyard in the same way again. Maybe the drugs made him come up with that great idea. I think drugs made him come up with a lot of ideas. Yeah, I don't know. He was just an ideas guy a lot, though. I don't know. He's got a lot of good ideas. Standalone recommendations. In what? In what regards? Like science fiction? We'll say House of Suns. That's one of the greatest standalone science fiction books ever. And then fantasy? I don't know. The Buried Giant, maybe? Last Unicorn? Man, I don't know. Horror is nothing but standalone. So, any horror book out there? Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Piranesi is a great standalone as well. That's one of my favorites from last year. What's your process like once something is picked as the Patreon pick? You always seem to have a physical copy, even if the book seems harder to come by. My process, once something's picked as the Patreon pick, I buy it and I read it. That's the process. It is... I like having physical copies of books, and if I can get, like, what did I get? That you can go to, I know, and people don't like Amazon, but if you go to Amazon and you go to like a book, you can go to like the used books, and you can go to, they have used booksellers on Amazon, and you can go to the used books, and you can, like, there's like a drop down button where it says list all the options that you have, and you can buy used books directly from booksellers on Amazon. And sometimes if it's an older book like that Mockingbird or something like that, you can get some cheapo mass market paperback that was just made last week. Or you can a lot of times find a weird bookseller that's selling some old beat up, copy of it from the 1980s, and I'll just get it that way, and I'll have it mailed to me, and it arrives however it arrives. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they look like they've been through hell and back again, but it's just you can literally search used booksellers on Amazon. So a lot of the weird books that I come up with either come from Half Price or from there, especially from there, because if it's the Patreon pick, because I don't have time to hunt for it. I need it now because I need to read it. But yeah, Cat's Cradle is one of my all-time favorite books. Is it better than Slaughterhouse-Five? Because that book is amazing. That's like a 10 out of 10 for me. Tommyknockers definitely falls in my top 5 King novels. Really? See, now I haven't heard that. I hear it's not one of his. Not a good one. It's, Mike always talks about how terrible that book is. I think he said it's like, I don't know. I forget how he words it, but he always is talking about how bad that book is. I don't know. I'll have to read it now. Now it's probably I'm gonna have to make that a priority this year. Try and get Tommyknockers in, and see where I fall on that one. Will you get to the Book of the Long Sun this year? Happy birthday. Yes, that is a priority. 100% priority for me is the Book of the Long Sun this year. I want it done. I want to get more Gene Wolfe. I was going to make this year. I was rereading Dune, and I was like, oh, I'll reread the Book of the New Sun too. And I was like, no, I want to do the Book of the Long Sun. I want to read more Gene Wolfe before I reread any Gene Wolfe, if that makes any sense. Not trying to pry, but roughly how has your cost altogether? What? Roughly how has your cost? I have no idea what you're asking. I'm sorry. If you've never used thrift books, sometimes has fantastic used prices. I do, yes. I used thrifts, use that all the time. So yes, but a lot of times they don't have as many sellers and as many options available sometimes. I asked because I do the used book thing on Amazon all the time, but often they won't arrive for like 3 to 4 weeks. Would stress me out in your shoes. LOL. Yeah, it is all right though most of the time. So long as if I can get it in like 3 weeks, it's fine, because I get the Patreon pick like in the last week of the month. I'll have my patrons nominate them and I pick it, because I do that video in preparation for like say February. I'll do it the last week of January, and then that's the very last book I read the next month. So I normally have about 3 weeks to wait anyway before I'm even going to get to reading it. So long as I can get it in 3 weeks, I'm fine. Do you have any theories on how they will do Dune Part 3 movie this year with the changes they made to Chani? I don't, and I want to talk about that. I want to watch I just did my Dune reread, and I want to watch the movies again, and I think I'm going to do a video on that adaptation or all the adaptations. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I do want to kind of talk about that, because that was my biggest problem with the movies, was the fact that they changed Chani and her character, and they stripped something away from her that was important. I know what he was trying to do, and he's trying to emphasize that what Paul is doing, these decisions that he's making, he wanted to kind of shine a light on emphasize that Paul's kind of making these drastic decisions, and they're not great decisions, and kind of like the idea that Frank Herbert had when he wrote the books of these charismatic leaders should come with a warning label, and he used Chani as a way to emphasize that. But when he did that, it stripped Chani of some of her strength. Literally, it kind of took some of her strength as a character away, in my opinion, because just of who and what she was in the book, and who and what Paul was in the book. I don't know. I didn't like that. I got beef with Denis for that decision. So we'll just have to see. I feel like we might just do a time jump, and we might have a scene that explains, or a couple transition scenes that kind of show that she's on board now, but it might have been a little bit of a difficult transition to get there. But yeah, I think they'll be all right. They'll get there. He'll do a good job with it, I think. But that was my biggest problem with that book. I did not like that decision at all. Blind Sight by Peter Watts does have a vampire, so there's your caveat, but it's nothing like Ripsnoff's recent magnum opus. I have no problem with vampires whatsoever. I just earlier in the stream was talking about Vampire Hunter D is one of my favorite palate cleanser books and in-betweener books. But yeah, so yeah, Christoph's magnum opus. Sure, if that's what you call that. Have you read any Brandon Sanderson novels? I have not. I'm going to start with Mistborn whenever I do, though. Grateful for Amazon. It was the only place I could get No Life Forsaken. Neither Barnes and Noble nor Books A Million ever got it in stock. Yeah, I get a fair amount of stuff on there. I really do. I like go, but like I said, I like going to the used booksellers. So I have heard there are two kinds of Vonnegut people, Slaughterhouse 5 people and Cat's Cradle people. Both are excellent, but quite different. I prefer Cat's Cradle. Breakfast of Champions is also top tier. I will get to, well, not that. I'll get there probably. But yeah, Cat's Cradle is definitely next. Huh. I'll have to see. Because I'm telling you, Slaughterhouse 5 is 10 out of 10. When will you read more of Cormac McCarthy? The Border trilogy is amazing. Probably. I don't know when I'll get to him. I love him. I love the at least I've loved the books I've read. The Road and No Country for Old Men is just fabulous, phenomenal books. So I will for sure. I'll probably prioritize at least one more this year, but I don't know when. Stupid question. How would you prefer prepare for more difficult reads? I don't. I just grab it and go. I don't really prepare at all. Sometimes I walk into them not even realizing the difficult reads until I'm already in there, and I'm just, I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry. I have no good answer for that. Favorite female authors? Female authors. Susanna Clark, Robin Hobb, Rumiko Takahashi. That's kind of, is that a cheat? That's a manga. That's the author of Inuyasha. But yeah, Robin Hobb and Susanna Clark are probably right at the top of my list. I really like both of them, and I really like everything that they've done that I've read. I'm right in the middle of reading Robin Hobb right now with The Ship of Magic, and it's so good. It's kind of crazy. It's really impressive. Yeah. Oh, and I mean, Mary Shelley, of course, that blew my mind last year when I read Frankenstein because it was even better than Dracula, which I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be good. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. I really didn't think it was going to be better than Dracula. It was, and then it blows your mind even more when you realize how old she was when she wrote it and what the topics that she's discussing and how advanced the level of dialogue that she's having with I don't even know how to explain with the themes and with the morals and what she's saying. It feels so mature, and then you realize she was a kid when she wrote it. It's just mind-blowing. It's really impressive. I just bought all 4 Book of the Long Sun books, so look forward to seeing your reviews after you read them. Yes, I need to find out how I'm going to buy those. If I need to get like the omnibuses or if I can find little old hardcovers. That's how I have my Book of the New Sun. I have a couple different versions of those. But if I can get the little like Book of the Book Club editions, that's how I do it. I love them. Hot take, but I read The Road this year and just did not get the praise it gets. I thought it was a good book, but was expecting way more with the way it gets hyped up. I don't know. I am one of those people that's hyping it. So sorry about that. But yeah, no, I read it and I was locked in. It's so minimalistic and there's so, I don't know. There's like, yeah, I thought it was just super impressive and super impactful. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. So But I get that with a lot of other books. I read something and I'm like, was this really as great? I mean, this is what people hyped up. I did that with The Left Hand of Darkness. I read it. I was like, this is a good book, but I don't understand this praise that it gets. I did that with Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House too. I thought that was a good book, but not a 10 out of 10 or some, I just missed the hype on it, I guess. To each their own, That's just how this goes. Author you haven't read yet that you're most excited to check out. Huh. I don't know. Who am I excited to get to? Oh, I'm going to say, who's that? Scott Lynch. Because I really want to read Liza Locke Lamora, and I'm really excited to get to it because I want to see what he has to offer. I also am excited to get to Guy Gavriel Kay because I hear a lot of good things about him, and I'm excited to see what he has to offer, and because I hear good things about his writing and his prose in particular. Thank you. What are 5 of the most heartbreaking books you've ever read? Heartbreaking? Pet Sematary? The Road? I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I'll give you those for right now. What? Where would you start with Vampire Hunter D? Book 1? That's a weird question. They literally go in order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to like 38 or something like that. So start at 1. That's where you start. I don't know. They are kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like they aren't actually in an order. Like book 1 doesn't go into book 2. You could technically, I think, read them in any order. They don't actually have an overarching story. They are 100% self-contained in and of themselves, to themselves. And if you've watched the first anime, then you'll already know the story for the first one. And if you've watched the second anime, you'll already know the story for the third one. So, and actually I think the third one is probably one of the best. But I would just start with book 1. I think it's great. I think it's fabulous. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit clunky. But it's a whole vibe, and I just love them dearly. But don't expect something. Yeah, when you get in there and if you're like, man, this is kind of clunky, that's just kind of how they're written. But they're so charming. I just adore them. Happy birthday. Any Russian lit in your future this year, or any old American classic literature? I probably will want to, if I read any Russian literature this year, it'll probably be more of the Strugatsky brothers, because I just adore Roadside Picnic. And I can't think of the other one. Something about God. The God. Now I can't remember the other book that I was going to grab from them. But I do want to read more Strugatsky brothers because I really love Roadside Picnic. So there's that. Any old American classic literature? Not off the top of my head, I don't think. But I want to read, as far as old literature, it's not American, it's not classic, but it's I want to read The Divine Comedy this year. So, which is old as shit. But once again, not American. If you had the chance to sit down and pick the brain of an author, who would you most want to talk to? I don't know. Man, There's a lot I would love to talk to. Of course, I would have to say probably Stephen King. I really want to talk to Steven Erikson. I've tried like 5 times to get in touch with Steven Erikson. I can't seem to get in touch with him. I can't get him on here. Darn it, I want to interview him. But yeah, there's just several. I'd like to talk to Ken Liu. Yeah. I can't. There's some older ones that I probably would never, ever, ever be able to get my claws into, like a Murakami or something like that, or a Stephen King. Yeah, Stephen King's not sitting down with booktubers to talk, but I'd love to sit down with him. But yeah, one of those guys. Urban fantasy recommendations, not Dresden Files. Happy birthday. I don't have any urban fantasy recommendations. Actually, when I start my urban fantasy journey, I'm going to start it with the Dresden Files, so I can't help you there. Have you read The Count of Monte Cristo? I have not. Actually, I've had it's been nominated a couple different times for the Patreon pick, so one of these days it might win and I'll be forced to read it. But no, I have not read it. I was late to the studio Ghibli, I don't know how you say that, discussion, but I highly recommend Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind if you haven't already watched it. Definitely my favorite and super underrated in my opinion. I haven't. Like I said, I've got a lot of Studio Ghibli that I need to watch. If you could choose 3 authors, dead or alive, to have a conversation with while having a beer, which ones would it be? No different language restrictions. Now, okay, so dead or alive, 3 authors. It's going to be Stephen King. It's going to be Philip K. Dick. And I might go Gene Wolfe. I might have to say Gene Wolfe for that one. Seems like Lonesome Dove was making the rounds on BookTube and is highly rated by reviewers. Have you read or plan to? Also, any new Ronald Malfi books on your radar? I have not read Lonesome Dove. It is super highly recommended by pretty much everybody out there. So I expect to like it when I do get to it. Ronald Malfi books on my radar is, I can't remember the name of it. It was the other one that I was excited about when I picked. It's not Blackmouth. That's gonna drive me crazy now. It's not Small Town Horror. If I had it in front of me, I could tell you. But it's the one where, anyway, I have a couple that I've been looking at. There's one in particular I want to read next, though, and I can't think of the name of it. But yes, I have some stuff on my radar from Malfi. Is The Shadow of the Torture action-packed? No, it is not. I would say it's just so weird and dense and difficult and obscure. But no, it is not action packed. There is some action in it, but it's not. It's minimal. 2 China Mieville questions. Any plans to read Iron Council? And yes, right there, and finish Boslog. 2, did you hear he has a new book coming out this year called No. It's apparently 20 years in the making. I will be on that. I will, if I can find it, I will pre-order it. And I will read it the second it comes out. That's where I am with China Mieville. I did not. I'm glad you told me that. And I will read it because I love him and his writing. And yes, I absolutely will get to Iron Council. I want to finish that off, and I want to read that. And I want to read a bunch more of his stuff as well. I have the one. What's it called? It's the one he did with Keanu Reeves. Whatever, the one he did with Keanu Reeves in Keanu Reeves' Little World. I have that one back there. I don't know if I'll read it. I might read the comics first, the Berserk comics that Keanu did before I actually read his book. What is it called? That's going to make me crazy now. Oh well, I give up. I don't even see it. Oh, I've got it over there on the other side of the room. I moved it. That's why I can't find it. Forced to investigate a devastating personal tragedy, an ordinary woman stumbles on dark conspiracies and provokes the attention of uncanny forces. Well, okay then. Oh, I will have to, yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I'm just going to pre-order it. I don't even care. Is there a book you don't personally love but still think everyone serious about sci-fi or literature should read at least once, and why? That I don't personally love. Ooh. I don't, maybe something like, maybe like A Haunting of a Hill House. That might be something. I didn't necessarily love that one, but I think it's an important book to the genre. What else did I not think was super great? I don't know. I might just go with that one. I even would say maybe Fahrenheit 451. I know, coming from me, who I even say Ray Bradbury's one of the greatest authors of all time. His prose is like some of the best ever, but I think Fahrenheit 451 is not as good as people make it out to be. It's my least favorite of the big three dystopian novels of Brave New World, 1984, and Fahrenheit 451. I was not thrilled with the ending of it, so, but it is super important. I think you should read it and understand the cultural importance of it, the historical importance of it, what it's saying, what it means. But it's not as good as I wanted it to be quite honest. Have you read The Sword of Kaigan? I thought it was an excellent exploration of grief. One of my favorite reads from last year. I have not. I hear it's good, though. I've been getting into Gene Wolfe after checking out your videos. Finished all of the Book of the New Sun and just got done with The Wizard Knight. I think you dig that one if you have not got to. I haven't got to anything yet other than the Book of the New Sun. I want to. I was just actually earlier, I don't know if you're here, but I was talking about I want to read the Book of the Long Sun this year. So, for sure. Happy birthday. I'm about finished with Claire and the Sun. Absolutely love it, even more than The Remains of the Day. I just love Ishiguro's writing. I do too. It's so good. He's just got a way with everything. It's phenomenal. Way with words. Elsewhere. I don't. Oh, the Book of Elsewhere. I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. They're helping me out with my China Mieville, the book I couldn't even think of. Happy birthday. I really dig your content because of your channel. I have read Shadow of the Torturer, The Hellbound Heart, and I'm currently on my third PKD, Electric Sheep, Ubik, and now Blood Money. I love Blood Money. It's his most underrated book. At least that's what I tell people. I loved it so much. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's really, really good. Would you say Ishiguro's books are accessible to new readers? Yes, I really would. 100%. They're not dense. They're not difficult. He's writing in pretty much pretty plain language. He's not trying to do anything fancy with this prose. He's not purple. He's not flowery and, doing all kinds of crazy over the top things. He's really just a straightforward, down to earth kind of guy. And he's really telling these wholesome, humble stories that kind of speak to your, like I always say, to speak to your soul, kind of get down on just a real human level. And he's telling really human stories. A lot of times they're older people, or maybe people that are just looking back on their lives and kind of reflecting on something. Um, like anyway, yeah, he's just really, really good. And yes, super accessible. You don't need any really, yeah, he's not trying to make you work too hard for it. It's great for new readers. Happy birthday. I just started reading Tom's Crossing off your recommendation. I'm only a few hundred pages in, but I'm loving it. It's so good. It's kind of a love it or hate it thing, but you'll know very quickly if you love it or if you hate it. So it's not like a big deal. If you don't like the writing, you can't jive with it, walk away. It's okay. There's other books out there. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I loved it too. Like, loved it. Like, one of my favorite books of last year, for sure. Happy birthday. Enjoy your channel. Which is your favorite Folio Society? That's funny. I just had that question earlier. Book of the New Sun. 100% Book of the New Sun. Happy birthday. Do you like classics? That depends on how you define classics. Classic now. My classics are classic science fiction because that's kind of where I cut my teeth, and that's one of my favorite genres of all time. So if you want to talk about like, hey, do you like classics, and you were talking science fiction, then of course, yeah, that's I'm all about it. And those are some of my favorite books ever. Like I said, it depends on what you consider classics, but I do like old stuff. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, that old books are difficult to read, difficult to get into because they're not written the same way modern books are. That doesn't seem to bother me. I get into H.P. Lovecraft. I read Musashi, which was written in like 100 years ago. I've read The King in Yellow, and I loved it. Like, just, I don't know. There's a lot of old stuff that I just really, yeah, I get on with a lot of classics. But then there's like really, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of classics I'm missing though too. I have to reread some Wicked This Way Comes because I read it in Portuguese and didn't think the prose really good. Really? Have to try it in English. I loved the content though. Must reread again when older with kids. That's some of my favorite prose ever. So I would be curious to see what you thought of it in English, because maybe that was a bad translation, because in English, that's just, like I said, that's some of my favorite prose literally of all time. I don't even know how, yeah, of all time. Have you read any of the self-published novels people send you? No, not yet. I have not had a chance to read any of them. I tried to fit in The Children of Aegeus, which is a science fiction book that was written by another YouTuber named Gamey Builds, and he's like he builds like models and stuff. But he just hooked me with the idea and the premise of it, and it was so neat. I tried to fit it in last year, and I didn't have time. So, but no, I haven't actually gotten to read any of their books. I do like to make sure I hold them up in the wrap up videos, just to kind of showcase the things that they send to me and give it a little spotlight and stuff like that. But I not yet have gotten a chance to read one. What manga would you hand to somebody who says they don't read comics? See, that's hard, because what are they into? Are they a science fiction kind of a person? Are they, do they like grimdark? Do they like, I guess if I could kind of get an idea of what they like, and it would probably be something like an Akira, a Berserk, that's really grimdark though, or even something like a Vagabond or a Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is so infinitely readable. It's kind of like, you think it's a kiddie thing, and it kind of is, But I was genuinely shocked at just how much fun that is to read. Like, I love it. There is some cringeworthy, inappropriate old man stuff that happens in the old one. I don't know what those jokes were. That's super highly inappropriate, but infinitely readable. I was, yeah, like I said, it. And then I did like my top 10 manga video, and I think it was like 3 or 4 on the list. I was shocked because I just couldn't believe how high it ended up on the list. I loved it. It was really, really good. Love the channel, by the way. Your editing and care to detail are top notch, and know that takes a good deal of effort and time. Very much so. Very impressive, and I appreciate it. Well, thank you. I appreciate the comment. I appreciate all the kind words. Is the Patreon pick for any specific tier? No. All of the tiers in the Patreon are identical. I put it like right in the description of the Patreon, because I would love to have like different tiers and different levels of things that I can offer. But with me having a full-time job and having 2 kids and trying to do the YouTube and just trying to do everything that life requires of me, I just don't have the ability to do that. So basically all the tiers are the same. There is no obligation whatsoever for anyone to ever feel like they need to pick a higher tier, period. They are just there as in, if for some reason you would like to give more to support the channel, you have the opportunity, but you don't, that doesn't really buy you anything. It's just, if you want to give more, you can, but don't feel obligated ever to. So, but yeah, no, you get in and it's the Patreon pick. And then every month when I'm gearing up to do my TBR video, I send it out both through the Patreon only Discord, and I will direct message you through Patreon and say, hey, it's time for the Patreon pick, and you guys send in your recommendations, your suggestions. I write them all down. I give them all a number. If for some reason, like 3 people last month nominated the same book, so I write it down 3 different times. I give it 3 different numbers so it has more chances to win, and then I roll a die, and that's how that works. So everybody can put one in. Have you read We Are Legion? I liked it a lot, but there wasn't really any conflict or stakes, and from what I've heard, he just becomes a god in the next 2 books, so I expect that won't change. No, I have not. I'm not even sure I've heard of that one. What made you pull the trigger when you decided to start your own channel? Did you have any previous editing experience? Nope, I sure didn't. I just wanted to. I'd been watching YouTube for a long time, and I had no outlet for talking about books. I was going to do a lot of things with this channel. I was going to do movie reviews and album reviews and gaming videos with my kids. Don't go back to the beginning of my channel, because it's god awful. It's embarrassing how bad my content is back in the day, but I leave it up for posterity's sake at this point, really. Yeah, no, it's just, I wanted to do it. I wanted to have an outlet to talk to people about things, mainly books, because I have, like, in real life, you could talk to somebody about movies. In real life, you can talk to somebody about music, because everybody watches movies and listens to music. Nobody in my real life reads books. So I had to, I needed an outlet, or I wanted an outlet for that. And I just said, F it. And I hit record, and I did a very bad job of it. And I've learned everything the hard way. I just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. But, you know, I don't know. Have you considered trying any Janie Wirtz? I'd be interested in your thoughts, given your opinions of some other heavier reads like Malazan and Book of the New Sun. Yes and no. It's not very high on my priority list yet, but it's on my radar simply because of how much BookTube talks about her right now and how highly discussed and highly regarded she is. So she's more on my radar just out of curiosity to see what the fuss is about more than anything else. So that's really how when I get to her, it'll be because I want to see why everybody's raving so much about her. So I just haven't looked into it very much, or her very much. I just, like I said, you hear a lot about her, so I'm kind of curious. What's up? How is the foot healing up? 100%? How are humid days? It's as good as it's ever going to get. I walk around fine. You wouldn't know that I had hurt my foot most days. But I do work on my feet, and I do work like 12-hour shifts on my feet. So there are some days when they're extra hard that, I get 3/4 of the way through the day and I start to limp, and you can tell that it's bothering me. But for the most part, it's as good as it's going to get. I have some reduced range of motion because of all the plates and screws and all the metal that's in that foot now, but it's good enough, and I'm up and running on it, and I do just fine. What is your least favorite book that you have read through and did not DNF? Oh, see, now you got rid of a couple of my worst books. Least favorite book that I have read through and did not DNF. I'm going to say The Rise of Endymion because I hated that book so much. I should have DNF'd it. It's that bad. It really is that bad. I know. Some people really like it. I couldn't stand it. That, or hold on, I'll give you two answers. What's the other one? Children of Men. Children of Men by P.D. James. That book, I didn't DNF that one either, and I should have, because that book was god awful. I read it because I liked the movie. The movie is a masterpiece. That book is awful. So either Children of Men or The Rise of Endymion. What's the most thought-provoking book you've ever read? I don't know. Thought-provoking. I don't know. That's hard. It's really hard. Probably something. I'll cheat and I'll just say probably something from Philip K. Dick, because he's really got some wild stuff, but it makes you think, like really, really. Favorite candy sci-fi reads. Candy sci-fi reads. Man, I don't know about that one either. You guys are really testing me today. What is... I don't know. Does Alice... No, that doesn't count. I almost want to say Sun Eater, but that's not fair, because that's not that candy-ish, but it's much more space opera-y. I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm going to move along. Have you read any Jack Vance? No, I haven't. Have you read any... Have you tried Discworld? I have read Guards, and that's it. Favorite few Ursula Le Guin books? I've only read 3 of her books, and actually Left Hand of Darkness, first Wizard of Earthsea book, no, I've only read 2. I've only read 2 of her books. For some reason I had it in my head I read 3, and I don't know. I just probably The Left Hand of Darkness. There we go. Because I like that one better than the Wizard of Earthsea for sure. Are there any books that aren't sci-fi that you occasionally read that might surprise your viewers? For me, in between science fiction and whatever reading journey, I'll throw in some Christopher Moore or Agatha Christie? Not Not really. I think the ones that the ones I throw in there are the Vampire Hunter D books, and I think those are surprising because it's so not my typical reading thing. That's the it's that, but that's still fantasy, sci-fi. So I don't know, but to me, it's just so outside of the norm for me. But that's not really. That's probably the most out there. What are some of the most exciting books that you have ever read? Man, define exciting. I think most people would find Dungeon Crawler Carl pretty exciting. I think that's a pretty high octane style of writing. I think there's some Philip K. Dick books that are pretty exciting. I think Alistair Reynolds is pretty exciting as well. He's got some good, like House of Suns, or even like Chasm City was pretty good, pretty exciting. I don't typically, I don't know if I'm a big exciting book kind of person. Anyway, yeah. Hello. Thank you. This opinion you have about Endymion scares me because I want to read it. Hyperion is my top one sci-fi of all time. The first Dune comes in second. My hot take is that Dune Messiah is way inferior. A 6 out of 10. See, I love Dune Messiah. I rate it like up in the top of the series just simply because I think Dune Messiah, although maybe not the greatest book by itself, I think what it does as an extension of the journey for Paul improves and enhances Dune so much because it's easy to misunderstand what Frank was trying to say with Dune if you stop at Dune. But if you go all the way through to Dune Messiah, it's, wow, does it change the dynamic of what you've been reading up until that point. It's really good. I thought Hyperion was great. I thought The Fall of Hyperion was a really good book. I think that was a step down from Hyperion, just because you lose the framing narrative. It's no longer, Canterbury Tales in sci-fi. It's you get a whole new framing narrative, and you get the poet and all of that. I just thought it was a step down. Then you get the Endymion books, and I just didn't like those. I felt like we were just rehashing all the same ideas that he had already explored in the first two books, and he's kind of re-exploring them in a less interesting way. And yeah, I won't get into all the reasons why I disliked those books, but I didn't like them. I don't think that's even really a hot take. I think there's quite a few people that didn't like those books. Dispossessed is good if you want more Le Guin. I hear that. I've heard a lot of praise for that book, like a lot. Does it matter to you if a series isn't finished, is sitting in purgatory? I am apprehensive to start Lies of Locke Lamora for this reason. No, it doesn't bother me. I read A Song of Ice and Fire knowing that it's not complete, also very well aware of the fact that it never will be complete, and I was fine with it. I'm kind of good with that. I go into it knowing that it is what it is, and if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. It doesn't bother me too much, actually. What were your favorite books through your life growing up? I didn't really read books when I actually did a video called I think it was called I Have No Formative Books and That's Okay because I didn't I read whatever they made me read in school, and I really had a grumpy kind of an outlook on reading. I didn't like reading. I didn't like books. I was one of those people that was like, reading is dumb and books are dumb and books are lame, because I never I was made to do it, and then I was made to do book reports on it, and I really didn't want to read what they were making me read, and I didn't like the questions, and it just really put a bad taste in my mouth for reading. And it wasn't until I was older, that I was like 20-ish, when I read The Gunslinger, and it, like, something clicked. I was like, oh, you mean reading can be fun too? And I burned through that entire series, and then from then on out, I found more Stephen King books that I liked, and then I found Philip K. Dick, and I found, I just kind of, it blew up from there, and I started to, develop my own taste, and, realizing what I liked and didn't like in reading. Yeah, so but as far as being a child, not too much. I did read the Goosebumps books when I was a kid. I did like a lot of those. I did read some dumb stuff. I read some Predator books. Like, there was one called Concrete Jungle, that I really liked, but for the most part, I wasn't a big reader as a kid. I'm up here trying to learn the family song, and I don't know how you do it. Why is Blackburn so hard? I'm making great progress. So, well, congratulations. Good for you, Balin. It's an impossible. So you learn how to, never mind. Learn something simpler first. I also made some progress on my song that I'm making up here. That's awesome. It's also about time for you to get in the shower and go to bed. Anyway. Excited to hear you talk about live ship traders. I'm right in the middle of it. I've like a quarter of the way into Ship of Magic, and it is fabulous. So far, it's probably better than anything in the, why am I drawing a blank? The Assassin's Apprentice, that trilogy. It's just the Farseer trilogy. Why? But yeah, so far it's better than anything there. Not that those are bad books. Those are great books, but I'm loving it. Oops, I grabbed the wrong one. Do you think the characters in Dune are one-dimensional, and by essentially listing out what the plot twists are is bad writing? Sorry, I heard another reviewer say this about the first book. I don't. That's weird. No, I did not think anything about that was bad writing. I just reread it like a week ago, and I absolutely loved it. It is just as engaging as it was then, and it's, I don't know. They could be considered one-dimensional, but I don't think the characters are the point of Dune. He's trying to have a conversation about the world and religion and politics. It is a very thinly veiled allegory for what was happening in the world at the time, and it is just as relevant today as it was in the time that it was written. And I think that it is extremely well written and extremely well executed. But if you're looking at it as a character piece, then maybe you're not going to get what you want out of the book, I think, because it is definitely science fiction, and at its core, it is an ideas book, and he's really trying to explore some ideas, and he's really trying to say something with the book. And on that level, superbly well done and extremely well written, I think. So, I don't know. Happy birthday, love your book taste. What are some of your favorite shows and films? Oh, man. You guys, I got really far behind on these comments. And you're asking me questions that take a lot. Shows and films. Matrix. Favorite movie of all time, probably. Maybe. I'm really loving Fallout right now. I don't know. So, there. I'll go with that for now. There's so many, though. I love The Frailty. I love just so many things. Lots of stuff. Happy birthday. Thank you for all your entertaining content. God bless you. Well, God bless you. Thank you. Just wanted to know your opinion. What was that one for? Oh, yeah. That was the Dune comment. Not a book question, but how is... Oh, your ankle leg. Have you healed from your accident? Oh, I just answered that a minute ago. It's good. It's really good. It's good as it's ever going to be. I can walk again, and I walk as good as I ever will. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. I have some reduced range of motion in my ankle from all the plates and screws, but by and large, I'm doing really well. Have you ever considered the older sci-fi gems like McCaffrey's Pern, etc.? I have not yet. I have such a long list of older things that I'm trying to get to, though. Yeah, I really like Paul and Aaliyah in Dune Messiah, but the other characters are uninteresting in comparison with the first Dune, and a lot of the dialogues are bad. In the first, the dialogues are wild. I loved it. I really loved it. And everything I remember about it was so good, and I was just so engaged and fascinated and locked in. I say that having read it years ago. Now, I just read Dune this month, not next month, but the month after. I'll be doing my Dune Messiah reread. So I am looking forward to seeing where I stand when I get to it, because gosh, those first three, Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune, I just couldn't get enough of any of those books. I loved all three of them. I don't have school tomorrow, though. I forgot about that, but it's still, you know what? I'm going to make you go to bed anyway. Capitalize your eyes. Sorry, that was my son. Currently reading Cryptonomicon, The Baroque Cycle by Neil Stephenson. Its scope is huge, and I definitely recommend. I have not read that. Actually, next month, I want to read Anathem by Neil Stephenson. So we'll see how that goes, because I'm really excited to read that one. I have The Baroque Cycle by him, but I have not read it. So, and it's just huge. It's such a daunting trilogy of books. Like, you look at it on the shelf and you're like, God, you expect me to read all this? But yeah, I hear it's good, though. I'm on the last chapter of Song of Susanna, excited to start The Dark Tower. It is, oh God, look forward to it. The ending is maybe the greatest ending I've ever read in anything ever. There's some decisions that people don't like in that book. There's some decisions I don't like in that book. But the actual ending of it, the last 50 pages, I don't know if I've ever read a better ending to a series ever. So get hyped. It's great. I picked up Valis because of your recommendation. Have you looked into its sequel at all? Yeah, I read it. I've read all of the whole trilogy. The Transmigration of Timothy Archer, and whatever that other one was called, the Divine Invasion. Yeah, I read all three. Didn't I put up? I think I put up videos of. I can't remember. I know I did the Valis video though, and that's really when he's getting into really just thought experiments of God and reality and what God is, and yeah, he gets way out in the weeds on that stuff. That's maybe not for everybody. If you don't jive with the Valis books, that's okay, because they are super out there. Today is my birthday, not yours. You can't have it. Technically, it's not my birthday. Yesterday was my birthday, if that makes you feel any better. But I had to work a 12-hour shift yesterday, so I didn't get to do my live stream celebration until today. So, sorry. Not sorry. Have you seen Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? If so, what's your thoughts? It is, okay, that's one of the best TV shows of all time, Breaking Bad. I have not watched Better Call Saul, but Breaking Bad was truly, legitimately one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Great beginning, great middle, great end. Stuck the landing, which is so hard to do, because one of my other favorite TV shows of all time is Dexter. And it did not stick the landing. It kind of petered off in those last couple of seasons, and that's really sad. So for something to be as strong as Breaking Bad all the way through and to end the way it did, and yeah, just fabulous. How would you compare John Harrison to Delaney and Wolfe? I can't, because I haven't read John Harrison or Delaney. I've only read Wolfe in that trio. Been trying to read Under the Dome for 3 years. Finally got to it and can't put it down. 40% through in 2 days. See, I read that one in a week, literally a week. I don't know if you were here. I just said that a minute ago. But yeah, 7 days I read the whole thing. I couldn't stop. I think the ending is not great, But that is the book that I hold up as a shining example of when people say it's the journey, not the destination, because I think that ending was one of his weaker ones. But the book itself, it's so good. So good, it doesn't even matter. Yeah. Anathema is my favorite sci-fi novel of all time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited. I love Snow Crash, and I really love Seven Eves. If you haven't read Seven Eves, go check that one out. That's fabulous. So good. Hey, I really like your stuff, man. Wanted to participate in your video reading 1-star reviews of your 5-star books, but honestly, I love most of the ones you listed. You can anything. If you find a review that I'd give something a good review, it didn't have to be on that list. I was just trying to help people out. But yeah, I thought that was fun. Do you have a Dark Tower reading order? Yes, I do. It's called books 1 through 7 in that order. Don't be dicking around trying to read this and then that and then The Shining and then you know, I don't know, slipping in Insomnia in there somewhere. Quit all that hocus pocus. Read book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do not put The Wind Through the Keyhole in there. I know it is sold in the set as book 4.5. It doesn't go there. I read it back in the day before The Wind Through the Keyhole existed. And then when I reread it, I put The Wind Through the Keyhole in there. It breaks the flow of the books. It doesn't work as 4.5. Read it after you're done reading. It's a great book. I love it. But it really doesn't fit well with the flow of the story. But these people that come up with these ridiculous reading orders, well, you're not going to understand this unless you've read Insomnia and you know how this character fits in, or unless you've read Salem's Lot so you know exactly how this person fits in. I think that's silly. And I think you're better off just reading the series and then go off and enjoy reading those other books and finding out all those Easter eggs and learning more about this person and learning more about that person and making all the pieces come together. It'll, you know, do it that way. That's how I recommend it. I think the really crazy 20 book reading orders is just silly. There are so many translations of the Divine Comedy. I've really enjoyed the Penguin's Classics Portable Dante. I plan to reread it this year. I plan to read it for the first time this year. I need to figure out how to approach it and what, you know what I mean? What translation and how to go about doing this and all of that stuff. How am I going to do that? Anyway. I didn't find Valis while reading the words, but stepping back and thinking about what he said was, and it is a book that really stuck with me regardless of entertainment. Find what? Yeah, I don't think I understand what you're trying to tell me there. Happy birthday. Thank you. I'm late. I was here for the 15 second live stream. I was trying to do some, I was prepping all of my stuff and I don't know what happened. And it I don't know. It just started going live and I'm like, that's not how that's supposed to work. I've gone live a million times. Well, maybe not a million times, but enough times to not, I don't know what I'm doing. This is why you come here, for this amazing technical know-how and 15-second live streams. Have you read any John Williams? Reading Ishigo's writing reminded me of how much I loved his. Evoked a very similar feeling with their ways, with words and readability and drawing you in. I have not. I don't know. I'll have to check it out, see what he's got going on there. Because I love Ishiguro. He's just, I cannot say enough about that man and his writing. Anyway, I think, guys, it's getting a little bit late here in Ohio anyway. So I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to duck out and I'm going to go probably put my own self to bed. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me and talking to me. And Oh, uh-oh. Appreciate you giving shout outs to all the people who send you stuff. Oh, that's probably impossible to read every book you get, but I'll sure appreciate it. But I'm sure they appreciate it. Anyway, so like I was saying, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for just hanging out with me. This has been fun. I had a good time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have fun.